Hey guys, welcome back.
Hey guys, brand new podcast.
Hey, wait a minute. It's my podcast.
Oh, sorry, I forgot.
Enjoy. Andy was like, I'll take the couch until you're ready for it. But I bought what I want for my podcast. So it's turquoise.
Oh, I love that.
Like
tealy, aquamarine.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's hot.
So I have my couch for my studio.
It's just somewhere else.
It's at Sandy's. And Sandy's dog loves it. So by the time I get it, it's going to be fully
It's going to have nice.
boxered out.
Yeah, the dog will like it, humping it. That's cute.
Thank you.
I
Okay, no, tell me.
love
Okay,
Joybird.
we started.
Oh, you did?
I did. Yeah, I love Joybird too. That couch is really comfortable. I mean,
I'll tell you what, I just redid Provide, our the skincare line. We now are in a 4,000 square foot space. You drinking any soda?
I'm drinking a
Little
Coca-Cola.
soda pop. Yes, that's mine. That's my crack, by the way.
yeah.
When I want to lose weight, I go off it. It's fantastic. I go off. It's not like before when we were younger. I would lose like 7 pounds just overnight thinking about it.
Yeah, in one day.
So then when you hit 40 and change, you gain 4 pounds when you're like,
Right?
you know what? I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to stop drinking that. And you gain 4 pounds. You're like, this is backwards.
Honey, I hear you.
And then Doug didn't have it until he didn't start gaining weight till he was like, I don't know, 48. And I was like,
because he's an asshole.
all day asshole. Love you, asshole.
Stupid.
Yeah. And then he never understood me, hormone imbalance. He's like, I mean, is that an excuse? I'm like, I'm going to beat your ass. How about that?
It's not an excuse. It's a reality.
Yeah, totally.
Right?
Oh, when I got diagnosed with PCOS,
Yep.
the polycystic ovarian syndrome, I told him, it was, you were with me with all that stuff. And I was like, oh my God, we might not be able to have a baby. 1 in 6 women have this.
Yeah.
It's the number one infertility reason. Like we could have, Google was worst thing I'd ever read in my life. Because, it's Google doctors. You go on it and they're like, that's great. You're going to be obese. You're going to be bald. You're going to have a beard.
Halston's saying pull your mic
Oh,
closer.
closer?
Yeah.
Damn.
You can
never
pull it,
heard that.
move it.
Oh, can I? Well, what is this? What show is this?
It's the wife of the party, baby. No, okay,
Yeah.
so you're going to be obese. You're going to be...
I'm going to be bald, obese, a beard. I will have diabetes. We'll have 1,000 miscarriages. And if I'm lucky, like Quasimodo kind of stuff, I could get like cysts and I could lose my limbs. And I called Doug when I came back from the doctor and went, you married a leper? I don't know what to do. I'm barren and I'll be disgusting.
Slow down. For people, I know what you have.
Yeah.
So what is it again?
Polycystic ovarian syndrome, PCOS.
PCOS. Okay.
Yeah.
And it is caused by a hormone imbalance?
Yes.
And what causes the hormone imbalance?
Great question. They're
Nobody
trying to
knows.
link it back to good old plastic microwave dinners when we were young because I grew up on, Salisbury
Man's.
steaks and
Me too,
Man,
girl.
peel back aluminum foil, pop it in. Or, hey, then they got the microwave and you could shove it in there for 7 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're trying, they believe that it's tied back to what's in our water, the plastics. Obviously, when we grew up, you didn't use plastic as much. Now it's just everywhere. And, and I'm not an activist. I'm not going to come out and wave a flag or anything. But it was devastating. And you know what? It was the trip with you guys to, oh gosh, Doug got so sick because he went on that dang catamaran. No, the boat. We were going to Catalina. And it was for you, Bert, friends. Yes. And
camping.
Lorenzo got sick because
Yep.
he gets sick. And I didn't know Lorenzo gets sick. And Doug looks gray and is like he's going to poop and barf at the same time. That's hot. It's hot.
You are so funny. Okay. On Catalina Island, for people who don't know, there's Avalon, which everybody sees, and
Yeah.
it's like a city.
Yep.
And the backside of Catalina, you can camp, just like tent camping. And as
Yeah.
you know from listening, I love to camp.
Yes.
So for one of my birthdays, I wanted everybody to go camping on Catalina. Well, you have to take a ferry
Yes.
in the ocean.
Big ferry.
It's a big ferry,
Yeah.
and it's the Pacific Ocean. So a lot of people get sick.
Just
And-
sitting at the thing is when
sitting.
they get sick.
Yeah. And then when you get there, the campsite literally has a fire ring and a picnic table.
That's it.
So you got to bring everything. So Christina and Doug showed up, remember this? With inflatable, like recliner type chairs.
Yeah. Yeah. Because as you know, she loves camping because
do.
she grew up in the woods and I grew up in Florida, which you'd think would be camping. This
No.
chick don't camp.
Not in certain parts of Florida. Florida is so different. Like
It is.
the Panhandle is different from Central, is different from Miami, is different from
Big
Tampa.
time.
People don't understand that.
They think Florida. It's
No,
I say
completely
pores,
different.
It's fake. It looks phallic-y, right? The whole
Yeah.
Florida. But we used to say you just tip over and all the shit kind of flows out. Sorry, I grew up there, so my whole family's from there, and I'm like, and Bert, which makes us laugh because you tip it and all the shit kind of goes
Right?
down.
Yeah,
You know
isn't
how
it?
it
It's a wacko state.
It
Florida.
is. It is. My daughter was laughing because she just was there, and she's 15. She's pretty conservatively dressed, but she, likes to push the envelope just a little bit. And she was like, "These shorts aren't short. I'm in Florida." And I go, you want to do as the Floridians? You really want to do that? You want to
Right.
be mid-drifting and Daisy Duking?" My mom was like, "Be careful, because you did, and you don't want me to pull out pictures of you tying your shirt up when you leave the house, rolling the shorts up." And I was
know.
like, "Yeah, we're just going to
Never
leave
mind.
that as it is. You're good. You're good."
You look good. Those
look
beauty
great.
shorts are perfect. Halfway down.
But that
your
was
leg.
the trip. So we went with you guys.
Yep.
And, we're miserable campers. Like, don't bring us, because we'll be the ones going and hitting things, swatting things.
Yeah, right.
Everyone's having a party. And I didn't really drink that much back then.
No.
I definitely do now. It's
Yeah, yeah.
fantastic. Tito's. See the Tito's? I'm wondering, when's the Tito party? But we went and had a great time for us. Doug got absolutely fried on his feet to this
Oh
day.
my God.
You remember
I
that?
forgot.
We call it
Yes.
turkey baster feet because his feet look like, when you go to Disney and these people like gnawing on the turkey leg.
Yes.
And you look at it, it looks like all kind of weird and crispy and burnt at the bottom, but then there's that bone at the end. That's what his feet look like, swelled up. He looks so disgusting.
I remember that. I
It was
totally
awful.
forgot.
Yeah. So that was cute. So that was when that trip I had missed my period. And I thought, I can't be pregnant. I'm not pregnant because I knew we had protected. And I was like, okay. I was 28. I was turning 29. And that's when I went to the doctor because I was 14 days late. It was weird, but I wasn't pregnant. I go to the doctor. She's like, "Man, let me just run some tests." And, I don't know what doctor you went to. I had a doctor right here named Dr. Alice Dick. Okay.
No, I did not go to Dr. Dick.
Do you remember Dr. Dick?
No.
You don't remember Dr. Dick?
No.
Well, Dr. Dick was so, God bless you, awful. I mean, she was awful. She's the woman who I go in, whatever. I mean, she just looked not the part. And she came in, she almost looked like a nun. And she'd come in and look at you and go, voice was really deep. And she'd say, "So we ran your blood work." I'm like, "Okay, great." And she goes, "Yes, do you want children?"
Oh my God.
Not kidding. And I went, "I'm sorry, what?" Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it. Yeah, I mean, it's on the plan. We're thinking. She goes, "Well, you may want to start trying now because you've got PCOS. You can look it up, polycystic ovarian syndrome. Just means you've got an endocrine imbalance and you're going to have a hard time having a kid. And
What?
high miscarriage rate. But I mean, you might be lucky enough to have a kid."
What?
And I'm like this. Did you just say, what was that? What? Did you just say I'm barren? And that's when I was like, okay. And she goes, I'm gonna send you to a specialist." All right, have a good day. Click. Because we were on the phone. And I was like, what just happened? What just
Yeah,
happened
right?
here?
That's-
How do we
that's
unpack that?
Life-changing news.
Well,
what
yeah.
terrible bedside manner she had.
Well, it's the same. So then I go, it was Cedars, and
Yeah.
then I go to the same group, but she's over there because she's a private practitioner. And then we go to the group. And when you have kids, they put you with the 15,000 doctors.
Yeah.
And everyone's shoving things in you.
Yeah.
It's really awkward. And I'm very modest. So I was like, okay. So when I went to get measured, I remember I was weighing in 4 weeks. I was 4 weeks ahead, yet I knew exactly when we got pregnant.
You're talking about when you got pregnant, you were measuring 4
I was
weeks.
measuring 4 weeks ahead. Yeah. That's why I had her so early, yet she was still 5 weeks early. They couldn't put it together. I am 30 weeks pregnant, and the doctor, this old man, comes in. He's not my doctor at all. I've never seen him before. He's going to check me, and I'm
Yeah.
like, "Nice to meet you. Buy me a drink, something.
Right.
What are we going to do?" And he's like 92, I swear, barely breathing. And he went, "You might want to lay off the bonbons."
What?
Because I gained
Yeah, I know.
60 some
Yeah, you
pounds.
gained
And I
a
remember
lot,
looking at him, and that's when you go, "I'm not eating more, I promise." And he's like, "We like the bread, don't we?"
Oh,
And I remember
God.
being like, if I punch you, will I go to jail? Is this pregnant in jail?
Right?
Dude. And then I got home and just start bawling. The day you beat your husband's weight, you're like, all right, 2-ton Hesse. Yeah, that's great. I'm still waiting to get that weight off. I had a baby. They're like, when?
So what do you do for this condition? How do you treat it?
Well, I went on a medicine. Well, first we got pregnant first try, which we were very lucky and blessed. I can't even tell you how many blogs I've read where women are just devastated.
Yeah.
When we went to try to have another child, which was 5 years later, because I was 30 when I had her. At 35, we tried for a couple years. And I didn't want to intervene. I didn't want to do hormones. My company was starting to really soar, and I was so busy. And I didn't know if I wanted another kid. Like we were on that, like Doug did, and I was like, sure. And inside, my heart wasn't in it because I knew the train doesn't stop.
Yeah.
At the time, I was making our living, and he was watching Avery and working when he could and trying to get his own company off the ground. It was so stressful, and I'm like, there's no way I'm going to get pregnant.
Right.
One, I'm older, and this condition, it's all about your follicle that grows because of the hormones. And every month we get these follicles. The hair is what the egg it goes and ovulates, and then your egg is where the follicle pushes that egg into the fallopian tube, right?
Yeah.
If you don't get if the egg comes and the hair didn't grow because of the hormone imbalance, now you are cystic, right? Because it can't go.
Right.
So that's what happens. That's why women that have it, that go on Clomid and stuff, you can have multiples because you have multiple eggs coming out at once. Now, no doctor quote me on this stuff because not a doctor.
You're a layman.
I'm a reader of, WebMD.
Right.
Which means
But someone who's living with it also. So.
Yeah. And what it does is you gain weight. Everything I eat turns into an insulin issue, sugar.
Really? So that's why the diabetes
That's why I can become
is an issue,
diabetic.
right?
My sugar's fine though. It's weird. And the hormone imbalance is always going to be there, off or on.
No hormone therapy though?
No. And I talked to someone about because my testosterone level's low, but you go to those clinics and I just feel like I'm at a sales event. Do you know what I mean? They're like this. They're like, well, we can get you on this regimen and hormone pellets, and you could get, testosterone shot in your ass. And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm already masculine enough. You know what I'm saying? If I could have balls, I would. My husband would agree with that. But, I have a lot of masculine energy.
Yeah.
I try to bring out the feminine side every once in a while. I do my hair. It's about as a little lipstick, a little hair.
You're more feminine than you think you are.
Maybe.
I think, yeah.
It's the tomboy thing. You know.
I know.
It's a tomboy thing.
Totally.
I'm
a
pull out
very
the hat.
masculine too.
Yeah.
I have dude. I process the world like a dude.
See, I don't process the world. I have a
you're
female
right.
brain.
You do,
know it.
yes.
I'm so Cinderella. Like
Yes,
I'm
you are
emotional.
Cinderella.
Just cry. My husband is very male. My daughter is very male minded as well.
Right.
And I'm the only female in the house. I'm the only crier. And they stare at me really awkwardly when I cry. It's awesome. So anyway, so you can't really do anything. You can take medication for it. If you want to have a child, most of the time you're going to have to go the hormone route.
Right.
Or Clomid. And I just didn't want to have multiples. Doug his mother was a twin. My dad was a twin. And his brother, they had triplets.
Oh my God.
Naturally. And I'm like, I'm not going to be octomom. Not happening.
Right. I can't do that.
Because that'll be in the cards. That would be the random hilariousness, which won't be funny at all.
Not to you. No.
Not at all. I'm
sure
not a bedridden kind of chick.
No.
Yeah. So we tried for a couple years, and you go through that disappointment, even though I didn't know if I really wanted to have another kid because I knew the sacrifice.
Yeah.
And I had already stayed at home with Avery for a year and change when we moved and left LA, and I left the music business. It was like, now I'm in Asheville. Now I literally was craving adult interaction so bad that it was like, I love my daughter, but what can I do to make her not with me every second of every day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. People forget that new moms need normalcy in that they need to be with other adults.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people would say, well, I didn't want to stop by. I didn't want to bother you with your kid. No, fucking stop by.
Please
stop
bother
by.
Me. Please let me
15
tell you
minutes.
to go and be quiet. Like, let me, and I'm like Bert. Like, I love being in front of people. I love making people laugh. It fills my soul. Yeah. And this is a baby. And I had postpartum, and I didn't recognize it until I read about it later. And
which is so true for so many people.
Jesus. And I didn't have the, throw the baby against the wall. Brooke Shields talked about that. She could see her baby hitting the wall and sliding down.
Yeah.
And that is awful.
Yeah.
And anyone listening would go, that is horrific. But when you're sleep deprived, and your boobs have hickeys and not for fun reasons, and you feel like you literally are going to explode, you're fat, you feel fat. And you know, I was in the music business. I didn't like that feeling of sweating when I just was sitting and not moving, right? And it just was really an interesting experiment.
Or involuntarily leaking.
Oh, that was the worst.
Lactating.
And you're talking to someone and all of a sudden they're like looking at you and you're like, yep. You see a quarter now. Now it's turned into a $50. Awesome.
And now it's a river.
We're going for a full-blown movie.
That and your vagina's blown completely apart.
Well, and I had a C-section.
Oh, you had a
right?
C-section.
But I pushed for 3.5 hours.
Oh, that's
so
right.
I got obliterated on all fronts. It was fabulous.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, I had to lay there because she was 5 weeks early. So she kept engaging. The doctor said she kept going down and then back up. And she was sunny side up. Yeah. So I had back labor the whole time. And I had like 6 or 7 epidural cocktails, they said. But I'm also a redhead. And I learned redheads need more anesthesia. I need like double Novocaine if I get a tooth.
That?
Yes.
Why?
And then I asked an anesthesiologist friend of mine and they were like, absolutely.
Why?
No reason. I think it's because we're like
Feisty?
like Scottish, Irish Vikings. We're like, fuck it. But we're like, fuck it, give me more. You know, I needed 6 Crown and Cokes back in the day to kind of, I could literally smoke enough pot to kill a horse and be like, I kind of feel it.
How funny.
Yeah.
And it's attributed to being a redhead somehow.
That's what the doctor said when I go to the dentist,
crazy.
especially the dentist. So when they had to do the C-section, I was like, can you make sure it's all numb? Because I just want to make sure. And my doctor that came in, who I didn't know, because remember,
same
was
with me.
6'4" and absolutely fine. He walked in, remember, modest whale on his table because I was 207
Oh my God.
and swollen. Couldn't even see
I remember
the feet.
your feet.
Oh, Doug was
Yeah.
like, we have to get a picture of your boobs. And I was like, well, if you want to get murdered in your sleep, go right ahead. Because that was Polaroid. What are you going to do?
Right?
You know, there's no phone. You're
No.
not clicking a shot. It was so disgusting. But but I say that, but I love my daughter. There's your caveat. But I also did not like being pregnant.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy my first pregnancy at all.
I remember.
My second pregnancy was nothing. I mean, I gained 25 pounds.
You were always petite. She had the littlest feet,
I was
little
petite,
ankles.
but no, with Georgia, I got really swollen the last probably 7 or 8 days.
Yeah.
My feet were like elephants.
Yep, mine were like that at 4 weeks.
I know, you
blew up
had it
too.
early. You had it much worse than I
Yeah,
did.
it's because I don't sweat. It all stays inside the water. When I got home from the hospital,
Because you don't
I
sweat.
don't sweat. I never drip. I've never dripped
Sweat?
a sweat drop.
How
I get little
crazy.
beads, and everyone's like, "Drink more water because Coca-Cola don't come through the." Like, yeah, shut up. I don't drink coffee either. Whatever. But I get little beads, so I'd have to always, wipe. But I never have dripped a drop. Like some people just sweat.
Yeah.
Not me. It's
Yeah.
a mist, which is worse because then you just always have
just
a
hold
wet-
it, right?
Yeah, hold it. And that's what
crazy.
happened. I retained. So when I gave birth, she was 7.5 pounds. I came home. I was at the hospital 5 days. I came home. I weighed myself because I was just curious, and I was 204. And I went, "How is this physically possible?"
Yeah, how
and
is
then
it?
you go through, "Oh my God,
No, I'm 204 for my life.
forever with boobs the size of."
But you were
H.
80 pounds of milk. Weren't your boobs ridiculous?
My boobs went from a double D to an H. Fucking torpedoes. They look like torpedoes.
I didn't even know there was an H.
Neither did I. The lactation consultant came in and said,
It was like, I can't get through the door. You gotta
Totally.
I remember your boobs were huge.
enormous. And there's nothing cute about a pregnant boob. Someone will be like, that's so sweet. Then you were never pregnant. Because it wasn't sweet. I had to literally I remember going, this is awful. And then they fill up with milk, but the milk isn't coming out.
Yeah, so
because
you
when you have a
mastitis,
C-section, it
yeah.
doesn't release that hormone, and you're like, when is it going to release?
Right.
I mean, what are we talking here? And Avery had that tongue thing where they don't suck enough.
yeah.
I had to have the nipple shield. Dude, this was I'm surprised Doug even showed back up because he was like, this is pretty rough. And I was like, oh, it's rough.
But for you?
I'm sorry. Did you not get your 8 hours sleep, motherfucker? Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And we got in a fight in the hospital. This is great. We get in a fight at the hospital because I had just gone through literally I felt like you told me, you said it's like running 2 marathons and being hit by a bus. And I saw you because you had Georgia before I had Avery.
Yeah.
We're both pregnant.
And you were terrified because I had a terrible
Get
delivery.
me out of the room.
Yeah.
Because Bert
Yeah.
is, get the cigars. And I come in, I look at you and you looked at me like, you need to run. You
it
need
was
to run.
awful,
You were
yeah.
shaking. And
Yeah.
I remember you were going, no, everything's great. And I'm like, why is she shaking? And I'm looking, everyone's like, oh, like a party. And I remember going, oh my God, no one sees Leanne. Is she okay? Like I thought something is wrong. And I remember you being like, I think you said, it's just because you're always well read. She read the book, and I remember you saying, it's just the hormones, and I'm going, no one is seeing that you're shaking so hard. And I remembered, and then when I shook, when Avery was born, I have a video of me going, oh, look at her, she's so cute. Because they put her right here. And now my contacts weren't in, so I was like this. Can you back her up a little bit? Like her lips were just, and she was just so red because she was early and her lungs hadn't been completely developed. But it was crazy. I just remember having these memories coming back. Like you had to lay in this room, recovery room, but you're by yourself. So it felt like it was a closet, and I'm claustrophobic. So what's worse for someone who's claustrophobic, feels out of their sorts?
Yeah.
Put me in a freaking closet, basically.
Right.
No one's in there, and I can't move my lower extremities.
No, you can't get help.
No. There's no button to press.
No, there's no
They
button.
said when you can lift your butt off the gurney and wiggle your toes, you can be removed from recovery. And I'm like, and I just remember sitting there being like, am I lifting my butt?
Not yet.
And
Shit.
no, ma'am, you're not. Did I wiggle my toe? And they're like, nope. And I'm like, yes, I am. And you look again. I lifted my butt. And then finally I lift my butt and they said, okay. So they're wheeling me out on the gurney, and I'll never forget the freaking orderly person hit the corner of the wall. And I went, oh my God. Like it went boom. And I felt it like as if someone just stabbed me and gutted me. It was awful. I remember everything was awful.
Yeah.
And everyone I talked to in my life had this incredible,
No, except me.
except you.
Not me.
No,
Yeah.
not you. That's right. You were the only person I knew that was real with me, that we could confide and say like, that was pretty awful.
It was terrible.
Yeah. I went to that class here. I won't mention it because it might still be around. And I knew you had to like sign up for it and hope you could get in. It's
I remember
a mommy and me.
that class.
Remember that
yeah,
class?
I do.
The judgment was wide and long and hard. Yeah. So I went to that class. Avery's like 4 months old. And she says, this is going to be good for you. Cause I'm like, I need to get out. Cause you were kind of hiding a little. You weren't going out much. And I was in my bubble of Doug's working on film sets all day, probably looking at hot chicks and music videos. And he comes home to me, titty girl, but not cute tits, not just wet, stink, moldy,
Big H.
feeling titty girl, big H, sweaty. I remember he said to me, hey, I'm going to be home at blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, good. That'll be great. He goes, God, you sound miserable. I'm like, huh, do I? Because I am. And he said, well, you sound like you're in prison. I'm like, that's so funny. That's exactly what I thought. If you could get home, that'd be fabulous, because I would like to take a shit. Just want to take a shit.
That's it.
Without
I'll
crying.
ask.
Without crying. Without a hemorrhoid. Would that be okay? Is that acceptable for you?
Oh my God.
You just sound miserable. Well, I got your misery right here.
Yeah, it's
Come and
not
see it.
fun, man.
No.
And so many people don't. Maybe they don't experience it.
That's what I was worried about, is maybe I was the oddball. Like really the oddball.
No, I was miserable. I was.
You were protecting your
I-
self though, about from acknowledging it out loud, because I remember going, "Are you okay?" And you're like, "Yeah, no, I'm good. And I'm thinking, I don't feel good. Do you feel good? And
No.
It was tough.
What I tend to do when I get in a place is I withdraw totally and hunker down, survival mode.
Protect.
Don't ask for help.
Yeah.
I got this. Nobody can help me.
Yeah.
I can't, and I also can't help anybody else.
Sure.
So I am fucking
Yeah.
an army of one.
And we were alone. I mean, I
totally.
remember our husband, Doug was working, Bert was working. Your friends disappear, right? Anyone that doesn't have a kid,
Yeah.
Audi 5000.
Yeah,
They're
totally.
gone. Yeah. And that's what I was the only one other than you that I knew that had a kid.
Right.
So when I joined that mommy and me class, we had to share our birth experience in a circle.
Oh God.
And I'm not the girl. Like, you don't want me there if it's about bullshit.
Yeah,
'Cause
right.
Not in my genes.
No.
And I just was like, everyone's going around, and I swear to you, I am not pretending or embellishing. It was like, it was. So she was born at 3 p.m. We were so lucky because I just got, and I was going. And they're like,
are
I
you?
pushed 4 times. I know. And I'm like, and I raised my hand and said, this bullshit? Did anyone call bullshit on this? Nobody laughed. And I thought, oh, tough crowd.
Right.
And every single story was this, like the angels came down and trumpets
bluebirds flew.
Totally. Snow White came out and
Butterflies
said,
came out of the vagina at the same
100%,
time. Yeah.
and healed itself. It was back to square one.
It sewed itself
Tighter
back
than
up.
when you were 18. And you're like, no one shit themselves. Nobody near this room. Nobody was worried, so they made their husband turn up the Enya that was playing because she was afraid to fart. No one's going to talk about that. I appreciate that. Yep. No, I told the story, and I had someone come after and go, I think you may have to talk to someone. And I was like, why? She goes, I think you're postpartum. I went, because my birth story sucked? What do you mean? You mean because I was a 2-ton heifer and felt like a fatty? You mean because...
And because it was horrible.
It was awful.
It's horrible.
My mom was cuckoo at the time. She went off Zyprexa, which is an antipsychotic medication.
What?
She cold turkeyed it. Yeah.
What?
I didn't know if you knew. My mom I called her and said, I'm driving myself because Doug was on a video shoot in the desert.
Ooh.
And there was only pagers back then. And I
Yeah.
911 paged him. That meant, come on. Because I was 5 weeks early. We had no idea.
Yeah, it's too early.
Yeah, it was early. So I just remember calling my mom. They gave me a phone. I said, I'm in labor. I'm 6 centimeters dilated. I'm fully effaced. I could have the baby in 7 seconds because I don't know. When I had to drive myself 2 Cedars and had never been through the Lamaze class, I thought the baby was literally, I kept holding my vagina
Oh my
thinking
God, it's coming out.
the arm. I'm going to have the baby. I'm going to have the arm and I'm going to have to birth
gonna
it.
pull her out.
Because that's the story I really wanted. Like, I was driving, I pulled over, I got her out, gave her mouth to mouth like a cave
Popped
woman.
her on my size age breast. And
Popped
moved
her on the boob at my knee.
Right.
And it was history from there. No, it was more like, and I walked into the hospital. Well, I had to valet park because I didn't know where I was going, which is the best. Everyone's like, where were you living? I'm like, LA. They're like, oh, got it. So I valeted park at Cedars and I said, I'm having a baby, like right now, like now. And they go, oh God, you okay? They get the gurney thing. And I'm like, and I'm sitting like, because I'm thinking it's happening.
It's coming out, right?
What do you know? You're 6 centimeters dilated. You're fully effaced. You're having a baby today. Like now. And then I waited and friends came, which was really awesome. Friends showed up. I was able to, not text, page people.
Right.
So pathetic now. Avery's like, pager. What's a pager?
Right? Why would they
It's
know?
there with a VHS. You'll figure it out one
Right.
day. Don't put a sandwich in
and
the
the rotary
VHS.
phone.
Yeah. The Sony. The Walkman. What's a Walkman?
I know.
Yeah. So that was great. PCOS, nothing you knew about it. You got it. And then it makes you gain weight when you get older. Makes it hard to have
does?
oh yeah.
But you're not losing hair or anything.
No, well, I started to have a little bit of hair loss on the side. I cover it well. I'm lucky that I've been able to, do a lot to this hair, music business, and burn it off almost. I had dreadlocks at one point, and then I had those braids that I got when I was in the pop group, that was one of the worst decisions I ever made in my life. 14 hours getting my hair braided down on
Right.
Crenshaw Boulevard with the sisters. They braided my hair, and then I was like, I look awful.
Oh God.
Yeah, because I thought Christina Aguilera looked good doing it.
Why not?
Why not? I got to look tough. Oh, I did. I looked like I was going to rob the Wells Fargo when I walked in. They were like, it didn't look right. It
A
didn't
little
look
too tough.
a little too tough, like
Maybe
a
a little too
gangster.
tough,
Like,
yeah.
like, what's up? They're like, you're really white. Like, you can't get around it. You are a cracker.
All right, let's talk about that.
All right.
Pull your mic down here.
Am I not? Is he telling you?
Yeah.
He's doing it, and you're looking at him. I should know.
And I'm
when you look
watching
at
him, but I didn't want to interrupt you.
Please do.
Well, let's back up even further.
Oh gosh.
You and I met in acting class.
Yes, we did.
We met in acting class, and
Bless
you
their
were.
hearts.
What's that?
Bless their hearts.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I had just moved here. I was working at the Chateau Marmont,
Yes, you
making
were.
minimum wage.
Which was
Nothing.
$2
I don't
and
remember.
change.
I don't remember. It
$3.
was nothing. It was not enough.
Right.
I was only making it happen here because I had sublet my apartment in New York.
Yes.
So the rent, I paid $550 a month in New York, and I was charging $2,000.
Oh my gosh. She was back then. You were
So,
a gangster with money. I see how
I
you
was
roll.
like, okay, this is how I'm going to make this work.
Yeah.
but I needed a legit job.
Yeah.
Right. So I was in this acting class with you. Barely knew you.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I ended up telling you I needed a job.
Yeah.
But you said, I'm working at this restaurant called Lowery's the Prime Rib. You should come interview there. And I was like, okay. And I got the job. Now Lowery's, for those of you who've never been to a Lowery's, is an experience in and of itself, right?
It's trapped in time.
It's trapped in time on purpose.
Oh, yeah.
On every level. Like
Yes.
now I thought all this hashtag Me Too shit.
Oh, they're
I'm like,
screwed.
How are they not closed down?
Well, you've been there recently.
Yeah, I
they
have.
have male servers.
Yeah, I know.
You know, I went from Hooters at Florida State
Right.
to Lowery's, the Prime Rib, with my cufflinks, and I got more sexual harassment at Lowery's.
Oh, totally.
Than I did at Hooters.
I would believe that.
Yeah, Miss Rumbley, Rumbley in your tumbly. I'm like, ooh, you're a perv.
Yeah,
Okay.
total perv.
Total. Yeah.
Well, so for those that you don't know, the uniforms were based on an old like porter girls, I think
like
they
the
were called.
Vandy Camp kind of girls and that
Yes, had a big starched
hat,
napkin hat thing.
pointed crown that doesn't give you any power.
No, yeah, right? It looked like a crown, but it was like a white napkin. It was we called it the brown gown. It was a brown fitted
Yeah. Oh, fitted.
in the boob area, fitted
In the waist.
and then like an
bellowed out.
A-line
Yeah.
skirt dress that had a white starched collar. We had
needed
to
to
attach.
stand on its ends.
Yes,
Yeah.
you needed to stand up, and it had white cuffs
With cufflinks.
So you had to buy cufflinks and a white starched apron, and you had to tie a big bow in the back.
Big bow.
We
and
had to wear
stockings.
stockings. We had to wear nude stockings.
Nurse mate shoes.
and nurses' shoes.
And they were thank God they were comfortable.
They were amazingly comfortable.
So ugly.
and so bad.
So bad.
But I mean, at that job, someone offered me a job as a dominatrix.
I wouldn't doubt it.
This woman who was a dominatrix said, "Can you wear this outfit outside of work?" And I went, "I don't know. Why do you ask?" And she goes, "Because I run a dominatrix den in Hollywood,
Oh,
and I would hire you. You are so innocent and pure looking, and in this outfit, men would pay so much money.
You're like, what do I do? Do I spin salads for them?
Beat them with the salad thing, right?" I was like, "Yeah, I think I'll pass. I don't know if I'm ethically okay
Like,
with
ethically,
that."
I'm not okay. Hold on. How much did you say it was?
I know, right? Hold on, let me think about it again. But how much money did we make at that job?
A lot. It was the golden handcuffs.
It was.
That's why a lot of people never left.
They never left. They stayed there for years.
Yeah.
Great health benefits.
Totally.
Awesome
Good vacation.
pay.
You get your schedule. You only worked 5 to 10, 25 hours. You got vacation. I mean, you're
Yeah.
making 65 grand back
Yeah.
then, cash. And it was insane.
It was
now
insane.
they don't make as much. It's not as busy. I know that it's different now.
Yeah.
But I remember being like, I get why people stay here 35, 40 years they work there.
Yeah.
And still going strong. I'm like, Jesus.
Yes. Because you have your whole day free and you're home by 10:30.
Yeah. A lot of moms.
Yeah.
Yep.
A lot of moms. It was a great job.
Yeah. It was a good gig.
It was a good gig, but
We had to go. We
had to
get
go.
on out.
Had to get out.
Yeah.
I will only come to there were like these guys that would carve the steak at tableside. So they're called the carvers.
The carvers.
And some carvers you'd have to give a hug before they would come to your table.
Oh, yeah.
So disgusting.
So I remember one of them who then became a bigger deal there. You know who that is.
yes, I do.
And he'd be like that. You'd have to go, "Hey, so-and-so, I've got whatever on table 4. And he'd look at you and go, if he was in the mood to deal with you, he'd go, 2 tables ahead of you. And he'd stand there, 2 tables ahead. And I'm like, 2 tables ahead, but you're not doing anything. And then he'd go, 3 tables ahead now.
Yep.
Fucking dick. And I remember I'd have to,
Oh, flirt. One of my favorite memories of you is you were having a hard night. And so there was the whole front of the house, and then the back of the house, there were like swinging doors, and you go in and there's a row of like this place where you pick up the salads, a place where you pick up dessert, a place where you pick up your bread. And it's kind of like a galley.
Totally.
Right? There's like drinks on one side and food on the other side with the kitchen on the opposite side of that. And there are these stainless steel cabinets underneath underneath the counter. And one day I saw Christina walk. I call you Rumbley because we all went by
That's
our
what
last
Bert calls
name in
me
this
now.
job, Rumbley.
Yeah.
And I was Kemp and but you're walking through fast as you can, arms pumping, talking to yourself, muttering like a piece of shit on table 6, and did not even miss a beat and kicked the cabinet. You were just walking and went bam and kicked the cabinet and kept walking. I was like, oh shit, she's having a
Something's
bad
going down.
night.
I wouldn't doubt it, man. Because you know what happens is you're putting it on, and waiting tables. I think everyone needs to serve in the military and wait tables.
Amen.
Dude,
I agree.
Especially our kids.
Agree.
I'll tell you what, I would put my daughter so fast in military school just to be like, hey, you think you got it bad with your freaking pool?
Right.
And you can be on your stupid phone.
Right.
And, I'll make you mow the lawn with your bare hands.
Right.
Like, I need her to have a work ethic.
Yeah,
and how do
yeah.
you teach that? When you're privileged, she's privileged.
Yeah,
and not
mine
like
too.
white privilege. She's just privileged. Why? Because she's never gonna have lived in a hotel like I did with a single mom and a piece of crap first stepfather and a dad who hadn't seen. I mean, all of our histories and stories. She's never gonna feel that. She's got a family. She gets whatever she needs and
Goes to private school if she needs it.
Like what? And I don't want a kid that's so not understanding the reality of what she's facing.
Right.
And I know you've done podcasts on this about like, how do we do this?
How do we do it? Yeah.
I don't know. My husband is really struggling with it because he is a workhorse. He is his best time sometimes is alone mowing the grass. Like he needs to physically get out and do something. And our daughter is literally a vampire. She doesn't want the sun to touch her toe. And we have a beautiful pool. And I'm like, why don't you come outside and go to the pool? She's got a little bit of meh in her all the time.
Yeah.
I call her, hey, what's up? And she has a deep voice like mine. So I'm like, hey, what's up? She goes, none. And I'm like, I don't understand mumblebees. I don't know what the hell you're saying. I need you to perk it up, fake it. When I call you, I need you to fake it.
Right.
I mean, I don't know, I'm doing French. Okay, good. That's great. Did you finish it? I mean, I'm not caught up. Oh my God. Can we just have a normal conversation?
I know. Part of it is
drives me
because
crazy.
you're a teenager. She's the same
I
age as
know.
Georgia.
I know.
And this morning, she had tennis this morning at 10. She doesn't like to take tennis when she's in softball.
Right.
So fine. I mean, softball is 5 days a week.
It's a
I
lot.
don't need you to have tennis too.
Right,
Cool. But
right.
when you're not having softball, go back to tennis because tennis is a sport you can play till you're freaking dead.
You make great friends with it too.
You do, and it's good for you, and you can play it in any country in the world.
Totally.
Softball, you got to come up with 8 or 9 other people, or you can't.
Someone
really
needs
play.
to know how to play it because explaining it's not that easy.
It's
to
not
people.
easy, and you need a lot of people. So I'm like,
And people with a good rotator cuff so they can wing it.
I know, right? But she was in tennis for years, and I just don't want her to lose it. You know, so I'm like, in the summer, you're going to go to tennis with Isla. So this morning they had tennis. And the minute I woke her up, I went, she's in a shit mood. It's going to be a fucking shit day.
Don't you
all
hate
day.
that?
I mean,
All
from
day.
from the way she breathed almost, I could tell.
It's an eye. There's an eye thing. And, we talked about this. Avery has Asperger's, Asp. She's an Aspie kid. She's on the spectrum.
Yeah.
That's a new thing. ASD. Autistic spectrum disorder. I think that's the new name.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And so she's got that, and we're dealing with that, learning about it more. And
Because she was just diagnosed.
yeah,
right?
she was. And, like I was telling Leanne, we've known all along, Avery's, really brilliant with math. It came to her when she was 2. It was really freaky, we thought. And the way she would use her crayons, she would match them up. And she used to, you have those Noah's Ark tool. Everyone has this the big Noah's Ark thing with all the animals.
Yeah.
And there's 2 of each. Well, Avery would line them all up on the windowsill and they had to face the same direction. And she had to put them in alphabetical order. I mean, there was always these little nuggets, but
quirks.
Yeah, there were quirks. And we're just like, oh, she's so smart. And inside I remember being like, but when she was 4 and she was playing with her toothbrush and freaking out when I would say, hey, stop playing with your toothbrush. Let's brush your teeth. I'm not playing with my toothbrush. And then I would go, okay, I need you to stop playing with your toothbrush. I'm not playing. Please stop talking back. I'm not talking backwards. I would have to break things down so literally. And then so when she recently got diagnosed, we went, oh my gosh, it makes such sense.
Right.
It made such sense. And we waited a little too long. I should have pulled that trigger.
Oh, no, No. Don't do that to yourself.
Yeah, it's a tough one because because now that she's old enough to understand, and I gave her this list to see if she related to any of it. It's like online. It's like, this is the testing questions.
Yeah.
And I had her, read it on her own. I said, I think you need to look at this. It resonated with me when I read it. And I told her, I think your father could answer a lot to this. Yes. I don't. Every question's no, right? Because I'm polar opposite.
Yeah.
And she answered yes to almost everything. Everything. Isolation, is exhausted when she's around people. So she comes home from school. And I used to think it was just a teenage little shitty attitude thing.
Right.
And Doug and I don't know how to deal with it because every day she's just exhausted. And I'm like, it's because you're lazy. But then I had to go, well, a little bit of lazy's in there. But it's because everything inside you is fighting against having to dialogue with people.
Right.
And relate. But I can't relate because I don't know what you're looking at me like that for.
Yeah,
right?
and fit in. And,
yeah, totally.
And navigate. And it's hard enough being that age when you don't have any kind of distinction.
Right.
Even dyslexics have a hard time. It's so much more of an effort to mask how hard learning is for Isla. So it would be the same thing, I would imagine, just from a different cause.
Yeah.
It's just spending your day masking and bobbing and weaving and
copycatting.
And finding a workaround. And that's a lot of brain work.
It is. And I didn't understand it because my husband gets exhausted. If he's an interior designer, so he meets people that come to our house, which has his studio, and he walks them around and talks to them. It could be a 2.5 hour meeting. When I talked to him later that day, he is grumpy, and I'm like, "What's wrong?" And he's like, I'm exhausted from talking to people." And I'm just like, "You both are the same,
right?
You guys are identical.
Yeah,
like you're an Aspie kid too. I got 2 of them. All right, here we go. And one's an adult who can be a butthole, and but also can't relate to the empathy. They're just not. She and he are not empathetic,
right?
And I'm over empathetic.
Right.
I'm one of those babies you would have seen on Facebook if Facebook was around when I was younger that would have been crying at like 7 months old listening to a song.
Right.
Those, the kids that they're like, look, the baby's crying.
Yeah.
Why? Nothing's wrong with it. And it hears the music and it just starts going because it relates to it.
Yeah, right.
That's me. That would have been me.
Just super sensitive.
Super sensitive, yeah.
Yeah. No, totally.
So Lowery's, that's where we met. Well, we met at class and then
Lowery's where we became friends.
Yes.
So when we were at Lowery's, you started a pop group.
Yes, I did.
Right?
You were my roommate too, weren't you, for a second?
No,
you
I
were
wasn't
Melissa's roommate.
I was your roommate's roommate.
You took over
I took your room.
Thanks.
That's right.
I felt like I was your roommate.
It was an awesome place to live too.
It was. It's still there. I drive Formosa
really?
Avenue. Yeah. You could walk to Jones Bar. Yeah.
Yeah, I loved that place. That was a great place to live.
It was good. Cheap too.
Yeah, it was cheap. I lived there until I got the apartment management job.
That's right. Which was a great
gig. Great gig.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was still at Lowery's after you had left. But you started this group called I5.
Yeah.
5 girls.
From all over the world.
Yep. Harmony.
Oh,
right?
No, you didn't.
Oh, yes, you did.
Yeah. You see that tattoo? Totally fake. Bought at Claire's Boutique and I had to buy like 50 of them. So every time we were on tour and we happened to go in a mall for like whatever reason, which was always exhausting for us because we would meet people and fans. They thought we were the Spice Girls. Everywhere we went, people thought we were the Spice Girls. And it was cute at first. And they were like, no, we have our own record. But yeah, that's the girls. And there's me. God, I was $128.
What a hottie.
I looked good. Those were the days.
Those were the days.
There she is with all her glory. Those were when my boobs were not an H.
They were just a double D.
No,
not even, right?
B because
you were so
small.
skinny.
I was. Well, you kind of had to be.
You did.
A choice. We got to work out with a trainer, and look at them. They all were so thin.
Yep.
And Gabby from Mexico, she's our Mexican hot tamale. She is an incredible salsa and bachata dancer. She actually started her own company.
Did she really?
Yeah, Alma Latina. And then you had Andy from Liverpool. She was the one in the front. She had dreadlocks. I remember I was picking the dreadlocks out of her hair and there was mold in them because on tour they would get wet. And I remember telling her, I'm like, Andy, I think you're gonna lose your hair.
Oh God, did she?
She had to cut it so short. Oh, it was so bad.
Did.
That's why I was like, we're just gonna keep mine. Blonde is fine. Bleach is better than dreadlock.
Yeah, the
mold.
dreads, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. See, there's the stomach. That's the before the baby obliteration belly button. That's what that is. See, that was our first shoot, and our record label thought we looked too sexy.
Really?
That's why we had the other shoot where we looked a little bit more, reserved.
Right.
And I'm like, well, this is what we can sell. But back then that made us, and we agree now, it made us look a little too old. Meanwhile, I was 26 years old, but I was 22 for 4 years.
Right.
Yeah.
For 4 years straight.
4 years. And then we're performing we opened for NSYNC on their Bye 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 tour.
Yeah.
It's called No Strings Attached tour, right? And so we were opening in NSYNC, and we were in Orlando at the arena there. It's now the Amway Center, I think. And that's my hometown, right? So they were like, we would call each other out like, and Tal from Tel Aviv, Israel,
Yeah.
Gabby from Mexico. And she would come out and then they'd say, and Christina from Orlando, the USA. And the crowd goes nuts, and it was so exciting. And we were like, it was so incredible, right? 30,000 people screaming, and they don't know who you are at the moment, but they just know they're there to see NSYNC, and you're there, and they think it's cool. We go out and we're signing autographs for like 2 hours. We would sign until every person left. And I remember a girl comes up and she goes, "Oh my God, I can't believe you're from Orlando. My sister said she went to high school with you." She goes, "But she graduated in 92 and you're 22. I told her it couldn't be you." And I remember going, "I don't know. I have to go to the bathroom." And I ran around and I'm like, "They know my age." It was like the biggest ordeal, right?
Right.
I couldn't be my age because the group made that law each other. That's why I eloped with Doug.
I remember that.
I
so
do.
now how did this group come to fruition? Because you made it happen.
Well,
Sort
it's
of.
weird because I answered an ad in Backstage West, the good old Backstage West,
Yeah.
where you would be quickly pulled into a porn if you didn't know it. You
Right,
gotta be
very
real careful.
true.
You're like, beautiful girl. Well, I mean, I can be beautiful. Model quality. I mean, I wouldn't say it out loud, but maybe. And then, acting skills, a plus, done. Humorous, great. On the back in Hollywood, and you're going to be on your back. But no, it was Backstage West had this thing for women of the world. And it was an all-girl group from all over the world. And I was like, I remember I was dating Doug at the time. We had kind of just met at Lola's, which now is gone, that restaurant, with Diane Douglas.
Sort of remember. Oh, no way.
I did the Lowery's Mercedes event where I had to and I had a migraine. And she got my pills that had fallen out of my purse. I get migraines really bad. And she scooped the pills as powder together and gave me my pill because she said, "You said you were going out with me. We're going." Scooped the pills up, took the pills. An hour later, I'm good to go. We go, and I'm wearing her clothes, and she's like 5'1".
Yeah.
And like a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
And I'm not 5'1" and not a bodybuilder. And I'm wearing her skirt, which now is literally covering my ass cheek, barely.
It's a half shirt. But it's
a half shirt that I pulled down past the
Right.
vagina, and then a baggy shirt because I didn't know what to do. So my husband actually, when he met me, he thought I might have been overweight because I had this baggy shirt but this tight little skirt.
Right.
Anyway, so we went to Lola's, met him. So I was dating him, and he said, "Well, you're acting out here?" And I said, "I love acting." I go, "I like doing comedy. I love acting. That's what I came out here to do." And he was like, "But you said you sing too." I said, "Well, that was what I did when I was younger." And he was, "You should audition to sing and stuff." And I went, "Oh, okay." But 2 weeks later, there's this ad, and I went, "You know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to sing." I haven't sang in years. So I go to this audition, and I'm the only one there, and this creepy dude is like, "Hey," and he's so weird looking and all over the place, like ADD. And I sang to him a cappella, a gospel hymn or something. He was like, "Awesome, you're the first girl in." And I'm like, "Oh," he goes, "Do you know how to dance?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can dance." And he said, "Okay, can you put a routine together and audition these girls that are coming?" I was like, "Okay." We're so excited. You know, LA, you jump.
Yeah.
And I did. And I put this routine together and taught them. Everyone thought I was the lead singer putting this group together.
Right.
And one of the girls in the group that was one of the last audition, she sang a Whitney Houston song and her vibrato was like nuts. It was like, da-da-da-da-da-da. And I looked at her and she had this bouffant kind of hair, this big hair. And it was Tal from Tel Aviv, Israel. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, she's the next girl in because she can sing. And then from there, rest is history. We literally kicked him out. He tried to sue us later. We had nothing. We were like, good luck.
Right.
We barely have enough visas for these girls to stay in the country.
Right.
Give me a break. So we basically kicked him away because he was a creepy creep. And we thought, yeah, you're weird and disgusting. And I knew Scott Carlson, who I met while acting, and he's a manager. And I could never get arrested trying to act out here. It was exhausting. I was like, I thought I was good, I thought I was attractive enough, to make it. But I realized, dude, it has nothing to do with it.
No.
You need to know people. You need to network. And I found that I just was a shitty networker.
Yeah.
I'm a homebody.
Either. Yeah, me too.
I want to be at home.
Me too.
I like to be in love, and
Yeah.
there's the Cinderella complex. Like, I just didn't like having to, sounds bad, hoe myself out. But it was like, I just felt like I was constantly battling this, what can you do for me? And,
Yeah.
just wasn't raised like that. It's weird.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. So we got the group together, and then we went around, met Scott Carlson. I said, hey, I've got this girl group that we have, and I'd like you to listen to us. We sang, he signed us as a manager, and then he
Wow.
started taking us around to labels. And we did our first record deal. We got offered a demo deal by Randy Jackson.
No way.
But he was at Universal as an A&R rep at the time. And a demo deal sucks because it's like, okay, we'll pay for you to do a demo song, and then we'll shop it and see if you're worth it.
Right.
But then we walked into Giant Records and we got signed pretty much on the spot.
Wow.
So it was just, and then we had a television show that was written for us. That's when I lit up. It was with Sony. And we got to walk on Columbia TriStar. I forget. I just remember I was in, like, it was like a dream because that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And they wrote a guy who wrote Jesse, the show Jesse with Christina Applegate. I forget his name at the moment, but he was really awesome. He wrote a show called International Dolls. And it was us, about trying to make it in Hollywood. And all of us were ourselves. But I remember he had all these lines for the other women. And I went, they can barely speak English well.
Right.
And you've got like she can't even say the. She says the, and I'm like, yeah, I'm the actress here. What do you?
Right.
And so we did a table read, and it was awful.
Oh.
And I'm looking at him like, I told you fucking so.
Right.
And then that moment was gone. We got paid.
Yeah.
But it was over. Didn't even get to shoot the pilot. And that's when I went, this sucks.
Does
we
suck.
toured, and it was incredible, and the most lonely time I'd ever had in my life. Because I was
Really?
engaged to Doug at
Right.
the time. And coming back home, being away from him, it was really hard because he would change. I'd get home and he said I changed. Like he said I was turning into kind of like I thought I was some pop star. And I'm looking at him like, really? I don't feel like I've changed.
Yeah.
Maybe I had. Okay, when I did go to Bank of America and they were like, just sign your name here, I might have signed my autograph and felt like I was like, and they're like, well, we can't read that. I'm like, that's my signature. I may have had a moment or two. But I remember feeling very lonely because it was rough with the girls. I mean, there was always fights. I felt like I was married to 4 women.
Right.
Without the benefits of any fun sexually.
Right.
So, and it was just culturally we were different. It was an incredible opportunity because it geared me up for what I do now, being an owner, a founding partner in the spa industry.
Right.
It introduced me to spa.
Right.
Because I fought the record label because the boy bands were going to strip clubs. Thousands of dollars they would get to spend on them. So I went back to our label and I said, that's not cool. They're going to strip clubs. We're on a bus. We have no makeup artists. And you want us to sell sex
Right.
from top of our head to the mid of our belly button. And we are exhausted. We've been up all night long. We've got a perv driver who's like watching us change while he's in the corner, the back of the bus. Disgusting. And I want to go to a spa. Put us at a spa. And it was the first time I'd ever had a massage.
Really?
Out of 4 seasons, yes. One time we got to do that. And I was like,
That's what I'm talking about.
yeah, it was exciting. But that was the one time I remember being like, it's so effed up. Why do these boy bands get they were bringing in the money, I'm not going to lie. But it was like, but we are supposed to look the part and we didn't have any help.
support to look the part.
Yeah, exactly.
Even just a makeup artist.
Just a makeup artist. We had one time on our LFO tour, our first tour. And then they were like, it's too expensive. We can't have another one. And so we all had to learn really quick. So we got sponsored by MAC makeup and Hello Kitty. Our bus they called it the pussy bus because it was wrapped in Hello Kitty. That's what NSYNC called it. It was like, that's cute. But it was weird. We call it water on a skillet. That's how fast it was.
Right.
That's how long the career lasted.
How
Yet
long
took
did it
so
last
long.
really?
4 years.
4 years.
Yeah, pretty much. 3.5, 4 years.
I remember it being long.
It was long because they were coming over to the apartment that you ended up taking over, and we would practice there. And I had to teach them how to sing and teach them what the Star Spangled Banner was and what it meant, because we sang at the Colorado Rockies game and the LA Lakers game.
Wow.
And they couldn't form the vowels and I come from singing like choir stuff where it's like, no, you do not mess up the Star Spangled Banner, ladies.
Right. No,
like,
you can't.
And the Rockets, like, da. I'm like, no.
You gotta.
And she didn't have Tal couldn't say the. Her tongue doesn't go the.
Right.
It's not a vowel in their language. So she had to
Right.
learn how to, and she would go, it was so funny. But yeah, so teaching her how to sing that was interesting. But, I think for me, it was about learning how to get along with 4 women. And I lost my voice a lot because I had to sing everything, and I lost my voice. And then we would go on, everyone would be done for a week. We'd drive over the canyon. As I'm driving over the canyon, my voice was in top shape. Then all of a sudden, as soon as I would hit Laurel Canyon, I would start losing my voice.
Why?
I believe, after reading books now on your chakras and understanding the throat chakra is your truth.
Yeah.
And I think there was a lot of things going on. I had to elope because we couldn't be married in the group, even though one girl was married. We just had to be single, and like we were ready to mingle. And I wanted to make sure Doug knew that I was in this for him. Like, we're good.
Right.
So I eloped. So I didn't get to have a wedding, and that was fine. But I just feel like I was constantly always having to apologize in the group for being chosen to sing the whole record all the time. I would actually go in and fake that I couldn't hit a note.
Would you?
Uh-huh.
Why? To make them feel better about
To
themselves?
make the producer not pick me as the lead. Because
Really?
it would be a 2-hour fight in the van, driving back to their condo, and me having to suck it up. And and I remember I was losing my identity. And that's what happened. I started to feel like I started to get mid-tour, and Andy was my buddy. The girls were great, but Andy was my friend on it. Andy could tell. And halfway through touring, I had checked out of the building. Because I remember we were in Panama City. People were holding up signs, and every fan would fall in love with one of us. America or Israel for Jewish. I mean, they loved Tal, and Mexico and Andy, and it just was so crazy. And someone had a sign for Tal up, and we would run off the stage, and they would give us their sign. So I grabbed it. And I took it up, and we're like, thank you. Underneath the bus, they had this thing you lift up in a tour bus, and you put
cargo.
your stuff.
Yeah.
So I threw the thing inside there. Tal saw me throw it underneath the thing. We get on the bus, we're riding to our next gig, and it turned into a 4-hour fucking argument
what?
about, you don't respect me. You've never respected me. You think you're the boss. You think you're the lead singer.
Oh, God.
And I just went. And I remember looking at Andy. And then afterwards, one night, everybody went out and stuff. And I looked at her and I said, fucking done. I'm done.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not gonna apologize anymore. And so I got real quiet, and my personality changed. And when I changed, it changed the dynamic too.
Right.
So when we didn't get a video done on TRL, which how could you not in that day and age?
Yeah.
Pink had just come out. Backstreet Boys had their 4th record. It did not go platinum the first day it went out. And our record label said, if it doesn't go platinum, pop music is changing. And sure as shit, it started going down. Like they weren't selling as many records.
Right.
That was it. Our label was like, okay, we're not going to release a second song. And we were freaked out. So we started getting desperate, started calling agencies, and we were with ICM, who I used to wait tables on these people and beg them to just look at me.
Look at me in my brown gown.
Exactly. So hot. And then we basically, it was over. I met all the girls at Jerry's Deli out here. If it's still here anymore.
It's still here,
It
yeah.
is? Yeah, it's great. We had our table. They called it the Spice Girl table. It was
Oh,
our
no
table.
way.
I was like, maybe call it the I-5 table. I don't know. But we sat there, and I said, I had taken Andy out the night before and said, I'm out. You guys can find another female lead, take the name, I-5, you got it. I have nothing for it. I'm good. I love you. She was so mad at me.
She was?
She was like, well, because she was like, you're my ticket. You're ruining this for me now. And I said, I love you. I can't do this anymore because I see the writing on the wall here. We all started calling people who could be our contact. And I was like, I'm going to go solo. And then I realized I was good. I'm not great. And that's what I came to terms, and I didn't love it. I didn't love it enough. I got real lucky. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to have talent to get you in the door all day long.
Yeah.
You don't have talent, you'll never sustain.
Right.
You won't even make it for 5 seconds.
Right.
So we were lucky, and we had synergy. It was lightning in a bottle.
Right. For
And
those 4 years.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then it was over.
This is something that I have talked with Bert about for years. The amount of bravery it takes for someone to say, I was good, but I wasn't great. And this wasn't my path.
Right.
And to leave that path and bravely pick up a new path, there is so much wisdom and bravery that comes from a self-awareness and a decision like that. I made that decision too about acting.
I know.
Because at a certain point I went, this is not for me. Like, I was a really good actress.
Yeah, you
I
were.
was, I still am, I guess.
I was going to say
but
you are, yeah.
I was really good at that craft.
Right. And writing.
And writing.
Big
And I
time.
was very bad at selling myself. And at a certain point, you have to go, well, if you're not willing to, quote, do that work, then what are you doing?
That's right.
Then you need to do something where you're willing to do that work.
And do it at all costs.
Yes.
Within your moral compass,
Yes.
let's say. Yeah.
No matter what. And so
100%.
then the people, I think, and Bert even, until I've had this discussion with him many times, sees that as giving up, as a failure.
Sure.
But I don't believe that's true.
I don't either. And I think that, and I can understand why Bert could say that, because Bert can't do anything else, because
Well, he
this is
found
his thing.
something he's great at.
Absolutely.
That he loves.
and
that-
successful at it.
Exactly. And it happened for him to be the first thing he chose.
That's right.
So, but not everybody
Sure.
is that privileged and lucky.
That's right.
because some people have to make a different choice. One that I've said this before. One of the happiest people I knew in my hometown was our veterinarian.
Yeah.
And he didn't become a vet until he was 50.
Amazing.
He was in like marketing. And then one day was like, this is actually not what I want to do.
Right.
And went back to college and got a degree and became a vet. And he was our vet till he died. And he was the happiest human
Right.
I ever knew. He was
I wish
always
everyone
like-
could do that.
Me too.
We'd
There
have a
is
much
nothing-
happier society.
Yes.
People wouldn't be so pent up
And put the pride aside and the ego.
And that's the hardest part.
Of course it is.
I would say, that is what I think keeps people, well, in scarcity, if we're going to go there.
Yeah.
It is a little bit of that. It's the fear, and then you get into whole psychology bullshit with it's like fear of not being enough, fear of not being successful, fear of success.
Or fear of failing again.
Yeah.
Because you have a judgment on leaving the one
Absolutely.
career. I mean, for years I felt like I had completely let myself down by stopping acting. And then I felt that way too about not writing. I have totally let myself down.
Right.
I don't feel that way today.
Right.
But I did for a long time. And if I had transitioned into something that I picked up like you did and took off with, I wouldn't have felt that way for so long,
Sure.
I think. But it takes a lot of self-esteem, I guess, positive self-esteem and self-worth and bravery to say, I really tried this path and I think it's time to try a new path.
Yeah.
Because this path isn't making me happy. I have a friend who's in this industry and he's like banging his head against the wall for years. And I keep thinking, but you're so good at this other skill set. Don't you think achieving and being and really knowing you're good at something would bring you as much fulfillment as that brass ring everybody dreams about that happens to 1% of the people who
If
come to
not
Hollywood?
less. You're damn right.
Nobody gets that.
That's the
brass
that's
ring.
the ego and the
Yes.
fear of failure, right?
Yes.
And I'll tell you, I knew that I had made the right decision. Well, first let me back that up.
Yeah.
I believe that you're either cut from the cloth of a hustler
Yeah.
or you're not.
I agree.
I don't think you can gain a tenacity and a go get 'em kind of personality. I think you can add that to your bag of tricks, but I think you are either innately a hustler and no matter what, balls to the wall and you go hard.
Yeah.
And you'll go hard at everything you do. And I think that you're either that or you like comfort more and you like having that stability and that's what makes you tick. And having that is much more satisfying to some people than the constant, it might not work, but I'm going to hit it hard, right?
But there's two. Those are personality types. One is called a hedgehog and the other one is called a fox. A hedgehog is what you're describing as someone who's single-mindedly focused. No matter what, my eggs are in that basket and I'm making this basket work.
Right.
If I have to drag 80 people and everybody through the mud, we are getting there.
Right.
Because my vision is single-focused and I believe in it 100%.
Right.
That is Bert also. And then there's a fox. And a fox is someone who goes, okay, I think I want here, but I could actually go here. I could eat the rabbit, but I could also chase the bird. I could probably burrow for some bugs and make that happen. Or I could jump the fence and get away from this hound dog.
Right.
I have 80 things going on, and all 80 things could be somewhat successful.
Yeah.
And that's a survival mechanism, I think. I'm more of a fox.
Me too.
Bert's a hedgehog.
Totally.
One thing.
That's
and
right.
I am going to get this one thing done. And apparently most uber insanely successful people are hedgehogs.
Because they can't not do it.
They can't not do it.
It's not a choice. I know
Right.
musicians like that.
Right.
Literally would be paying. They will be on the street corner because they have to play.
Right.
They have to play.
Right.
I never had that energy.
Right.
I got lucky because we looked good.
And you sounded good.
We sounded good.
Yeah.
And it was the right time, right place, 7 years pounding the pavement and the right couple connections.
Right.
And it was the stars aligning for the right moment. It gave me the taste of what I didn't like.
Ah.
It was the taste. I never knew it. I didn't like it until I was on a tour bus away from who I loved, dealing with drama. There was ups and there was downs. It was amazing to be invited by Justin Timberlake and sit next to him in a movie theater and you're in awe and you're like hanging out with him and in their hotel room and like, oh my God, I'm engaged, so nothing's going to happen there.
Right.
Although I did tell Doug, I could have had a pass. Thanks a lot, Doug. He's like, really? I'm like, you don't know. Could have happened. There was dancing involved. But I digress. It was just one of those things where I think there was an air of desperation behind it because I was getting older and I'd been out here banging my head against the wall, knowing that I was talented.
Yes.
I knew it. I was like, I am meant to do something really awesome.
Yeah.
But I knew by falling into it, because I had a talent to sing, was in my heart. So much so, after the group was done, I got signed to a publishing deal to be a songwriter.
Yeah.
I had written one song in my life with a producer who was producing our record. And he was signed there, brought me in and said, she co-wrote that. There was an artist on Disney who liked the song. My people decided, we want to sign this girl before she gets big. So they swooped me up at like $30,000 a year to write music for a living. I just came off being on tour. I had that under my wings.
Yeah.
And I did not enjoy it.
Right.
Barely. I could count maybe on one hand 5 songs out of 100 that I wrote that I think are hits that are like, I remember what I was thinking. I gave my heart and soul to that. Usually I was in Nashville when that would happen.
Right.
Because it's boot camp for songwriters. Really is. And my husband was jealous. He said to me, you don't even understand what you've been able to get. He's like, you've never written music in your life. Now, he was a starving guitar player who had the record deal, who lived in the 5 people in one bedroom. He played guitar for 9 hours a day.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, I'm like, oh, my voice is tired. He's like, you're such a little bitch about it. And I said, it's because it's not my passion.
Right.
Well, what is your passion? I don't know. And then I figured it out because I was in Miami at Ricky Martin's camp because I was signed to Desmond Child. And he wrote Janie's Got a Gun and Wanted, Dead or Alive, She Bangs, Livin' La Vida Loca, huge.
Right.
And so I realized then that we were sitting at dinner and all of us were writing for a Celine Dion album. And I met amazing songwriters.
I bet.
I mean, people that I'm just like, you wrote what? Oh, and I'm just thinking like, I'm the poor kid on the playground.
Right.
I felt like that. I literally packed my lunch when I went to this thing. I brought Subway and Desmond Child annihilated me in front of everybody.
Because
he said,
you bought Subway?
Because he's like, stop thinking like you're a poor homeless person.
What?
Do never bring Subway to my house.
And did you say, well, then pay me more than $30,000 a year, motherfucker?
No, what I said
Subway's
was,
what I can afford.
when I
fucking
looked
asshole.
at him and I just was like this. And I was so intimidated. And I looked and you know, I'm trying to crack jokes and shit. I just went, well, I'm on Weight Watchers and this is only 6 points. So, and I don't know what you're serving here, some paella or something crazy. And I can't guarantee your chef didn't throw a little extra butter in there. So I'm going to eat my Subway. And then in my head, I was like, and you can go fuck yourself.
Right.
But I was so intimidated. I was very nervous all the time around songwriters because I didn't feel like I belonged in the room.
Right.
Because I really didn't.
Right.
But I was a really good melody person and I was pretty good at lyrics. And I was lucky. And Doug was like, you were lucky and you don't even appreciate it. And I said, that's because I don't love it.
Yeah, you don't enjoy it.
No, because for me, it was a way to not get me back to waiting tables because I mentally, emotionally couldn't do that.
Right.
I knew I was a great waitress.
Yes, you were.
So were you. Like we were good.
Yes, I was.
Really good. I was actually great. That's what I was great at.
Yep.
But I knew I wanted something else. And
Yep.
I remember thinking to myself, yeah, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Because then that is where I would have said to myself, you have failed.
Yeah, right.
Because
Yes,
people have
I
said to me,
understand that.
you toured and stuff. And I never looked at it as a failure. Not once.
No, nor should you.
No.
Because it
but
was
a lot
not.
of people do.
But they should not. Because
know.
it's you transitioned into something else.
Absolutely.
That's all.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it.
And I'm more successful now than I ever have been.
Right.
And
Because you love what you do.
I love what I do. And I have to do it.
There's a great book called Do What You Love and the Money Will Come.
That's right.
I haven't read that book in 20-something years. But that one statement stayed in my brain always.
Yeah.
Do what you love and the money will come. Do
Yeah.
what you love and the money will come. And if you can just relax and trust that,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean you do what you love and you half-ass do it and you go, well, the money's going to show up.
Yeah.
You have to do it.
You have to do it. And you have to do, that's when the mentality of the Berts of the world, I think, that is when you are doing something you love, you have to do it.
Yeah.
And it's the fox that is making sure, I believe, from your description, they are multifaceted.
Yes.
I feel like I used to say I'm a jack of all trades, a master of none. But then I realized I don't believe in multitasking.
Right.
Because I've learned, I used to say that I'm a multitasker. I can, no, because then I'm doing everything kind of okay.
Yeah, right.
Right. And I've learned through business in the past 15 years with a business partner, and she's a female and she's younger than me. And I've had to learn, okay, no, because I'm going to suck at a lot of the things in order to be great at that one thing.
Right.
And I sucked very hard at parenting a lot of times because I would put my family on the back burner because I loved my work so much.
Mm-hmm.
And I beat myself up over that. I used to have panic attacks about it. I'd feel like a shitty parent. I'd feel like a shitty wife. I'd go through all that. And then the next day would come and back to it. Right?
Right.
And I remember when I used to cry missing Avery's, teacher's meeting, or I would just be bawling because I knew that I had the power to go, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go do that for her. And I would choose the latter. Or the first one. I would choose to go open that spa.
Right.
Because my team needed me. And I guess I took totally for granted, but my family needed me too. And that spiraled. I mean, Avery had a mental breakdown when she was like 3. And we believe part of it was the not feeling like she could vocalize a lot about her feelings. But the therapist said, Mommy, you need to get some floor time with this kid.
Right.
And I remember going, great, daggering it. Because I remember thinking out loud, like, do men feel this way when they partner up in a law firm?
Right.
Does the man surgeon feel that way when he's leaving every night, all night long, or right in the middle of dinner, or when? No. So now I have the mom guilt.
Right.
And we laugh with Avery now that she's older. I'd be like this, my mom, chapter 4. I'm like, that's right. You'll get on drugs later. It's gonna be great. No,
but I can afford the rehab, so there you go.
Someone will parent you.
So when you were living here,
yeah,
tell me if this is part of what led to your spa. You started making like balms and lotions,
Yes.
and lip balms.
Yes, I did.
And you got really into it.
I did.
And were you making soap too?
I was.
Yes. And is that what started your interest? What came first, the spa or the skincare? Because you have a
Skincare.
skincare line called Provide,
Yes.
which is awesome.
Yes, it's pretty great.
And then you have how many spas do you own?
Well, okay, so Innovative Spa Management, which is now ISM, that's our company that we formed like 15 years ago. And that is a spa consulting, design, and management company. So it started with the skincare line came first.
Right.
So I didn't even know Asheville. Never even heard of it personally. I was like, what? Nashville? No, Asheville. And I was bored and I was staying at home with Avery. And I knew I didn't want to songwrite anymore. And so I gave that up, and I was getting adult cystic acne, which is part of PCOS as well.
Right.
That's lovely. And I never really had acne in my life, and I started getting that. So I started concocting stuff that I was reading about to cure it without going on Proactive, because I had done that, and I've done the, all the bad Retin-A and shit where your lip starts cracking. And I'm like, what am I, 12?
Right.
So I started using holistic stuff, and actually oil begets oil on your face, and that's what you need. And when your body is so dehydrated from oil, it overproduces it, then you break out. But part of PCOS is hormone imbalance, which you get these adult cystic acne. And I started playing with that. I went to Ulla Hendrickson on Sunset, and I really fell in love with aesthetics. And I actually thought I was going to go to aesthetic school.
I remember.
And that was actually before I had Avery, because I found out I was pregnant when I was downloading the application for Santa Monica College.
Right.
So I have a degree in broadcast journalism, but I knew I wasn't going to do that.
Right.
Just did it in 3 years and got out here.
Right.
So I think I fell in love with spas because of how it made me feel.
Right.
Because I'm a type A. I run really high all the time, high energy, just ba, 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 ba. It's a lot coming at you.
Right.
And I know that.
Right.
Bert laughs. Like him and I together, it's like,
no one else talks.
No one talks. You and Doug are sitting there just watching.
And then Doug, when the four of us would hang out, Doug would say something and I would laugh hysterically for 20 minutes, and the two of you would be like, what?
What's so funny?
What's so funny?
What's so funny?
What did he say that was funny?
He's not
funny.
funny.
He said 2 words the whole fucking night, Leanne, and he's the funny one. And I'm
Drives
like,
us
dude.
absolutely nuts because Doug is dry.
And constantly I say to Bert, you don't have to be the only funny person in the room. Doug is the driest.
Dry.
2 words. And I was like,
You were floored.
we shared a brain a little bit.
Did. Like you guys are brother sister. I was just telling him about you the other night, and he was laughing because I said, do you remember he would get up in the middle of dinner? We would have him over, Bert and Leanne would come over for dinner party, and we'd be playing Pictionary, and Doug would get up early for film sets, so he'd have to get up at like 4 a.m, and it was like 8:30, and he'd stand up and be like, all right, I'm gonna head up and go to bed. And I'm like, we're in the middle of Pictionary.
We're in the middle of Pictionary. It's like a
you are
2-couple
nuts.
team. You just left.
You bailed on me, and now I'm gonna do this alone.
I
And
know.
he's just like, I'm out.
All right,
That's
see
it.
you guys.
Aspie.
Thanks for coming over.
Asperger's.
We're always
Telling
like,
you.
what?
Social cues. Little doesn't get him.
Oh, I
That's
love
my life.
Doug so much. I have always loved him.
He's just older,
so much.
little silver fox, and a little crankier these days.
Yeah.
Still dry. But he likes to tell people he's the funny one in our marriage. And I'm just like, you are so not. Because I make excuses for his humor because people look at me like, is he serious? And I'm like, oh, that's a joke.
He's so dry.
He's joking. Huh? Do you know what I'm saying?
That's so funny because I tell everybody I'm the funny one in my relationship.
Of course you
too.
do. Yeah.
And Bert's like, yeah, right.
Yeah. And Bert's in there going, oh, okay. Yeah.
Totally. What they don't know is he's really not super funny at home. He's just super neurotic.
Oh, absolutely. And my
OCD
family doesn't laugh at what I say at all. Never.
No, nobody laughs
I'm not
at Bert.
funny at my house. I'm an asshole. Like I'm the drill sergeant.
Yeah, well, I'm the drill sergeant at my house.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Bert's
Of course you are.
always the one that's like, hey, I can't find my wallet. Has anybody seen my wallet? And the girls now are like, oh, what about your wallet? What about your Rogaine? How about your keys? What are your sunglasses? Can't find your sunglasses? How about your asthma inhaler? Can't find that, Dad?
They're funny.
Yeah,
Oh my
and
God.
he's like, shut up, guys. He's
Oh
that
my gosh.
person at home.
I love that.
And then he goes and can be funny in public.
Absolutely. Because it's different in front of a lot of people.
Yes.
Yeah. I find myself when we have employee staff meetings,
Yeah.
Alana is good, my business partner. She has always known. She knows my history. She knows who I am. We get each other's personalities, and we always say we're like the married couple, the 2 married, the lesbians who are like, and I'm not, but when we're together, I wear the choker and she wears the pearls, like 100%. I go in for the kill,
Right.
and when we're in hotel meetings, because we do hotel spas and we manage them and design them and open them and I love it. And it's so not my personality, which is so funny because, 4 and 5
Wait, what
diamond
do you
hotel
mean?
spas.
Oh, you mean
There's
the
a
refined
coif.
kind of, yes, I see what you
There's
mean.
there's a finesse.
Right.
And what we found in our partnership, which is the second time I've had lightning in a bottle, was when I met her.
Right.
My husband, of course.
Now,
but
how'd you meet
business.
her?
We sold everything in LA,
Yep.
moved to Asheville.
Now, why'd you move to Asheville? Doug liked it.
Doug
right?
liked it. I liked it. We went to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. We looked at Denver. We looked at Portland, Oregon. We looked at Austin, Texas. We looked at South Carolina and North Carolina. And because we were like, sell everything and just move.
Yeah.
Get out. He
And
left
you
his
sold
career.
everything at the height.
Of 2005, September
Yeah.
2005. And thank God we did, because a year later, everything tanked.
Yeah.
Our house probably would have been worth half.
Right.
And so we were very lucky. We had 2 apartment buildings, and that was
Right.
all Doug, because I didn't have a pot's piss. And are you kidding me? Like
Yeah.
I was a struggling waitress who got a record deal, and everyone's like, you must be rolling in it. Because I didn't get to write any of that music.
Right.
And when you're a songwriter, good luck,
Yeah.
So it was just, he was very frugal, and, until he wants to build a house in Asheville, that's when he's not frugal. He's gotten more expensive tastes as he's gotten old and gray. But what we found was it was a perfect kind of place for us. It wasn't too hot, wasn't too cold. I had 4 seasons, and it was a little bit like a San Francisco of the South. If
Right.
you could be that. It wasn't too liberal or too conservative. It was just like kind of in the middle for us. And we liked it. And the house we bought was 4,000 square feet.
Right.
For nothing.
And
Nothing.
in LA, your house was what?
1,300 square feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for people listening,
Yeah. Yeah.
a 1,300 square foot home sold for
In 2005, we sold it for like 1.4. We bought it for 335, and we had it for 7 years.
Wow.
But we hobbled it,
yeah.
lived under a tarp for 2 years.
I remember that.
Fucking.
They remodeled it and lived in it.
He made me hose him off in a garbage can in the backyard with a hose.
I remember that.
So I would go shower.
Oh, I'd come to your house and it would be like plastic wall.
Yes.
Plastic wall, tarp over this roof, plastic. It was hysterical. Cement
Yeah.
floor.
Awful. I can say this, and I'm not ashamed. I've shit in a bag before. Had to do it.
And that is why we're friends.
That's right. No shame. I double bagged. It was a double bag.
You
And
know
it was
what?
a Ralph's.
You got to do what you got to fucking do.
You got to do.
You got to do what you do.
You got to do it.
That's right. I mean, when we remodeled our house, my front porch was my kitchen for 5 months.
That's right.
And people kept going, "Are you kidding me?"
You're like,
And I'm
listen.
like, "Hey, dude.
You're lucky I don't have my toilet out front.
Yeah,
all
right? I did. I had a porta potty out front.
Oh, you did.
Well,
full
no,
on.
we still had a working bathroom. We kept
Yeah.
one bathroom
Nope.
working, remodeled the back, and then
Not
switched.
us.
Yeah,
I'll
I
never
know.
forget that. And I just said to Doug, I have to go to the bathroom. He was like, then you better drive to the Chevron. And I was like, I said, I don't know if we have time. And he said, well, then you better bust out the Ralph's bags. And I had a shit in the bag. You like that? That's great.
That's hysterical.
That is awesome.
I forgot
No one
about
has
the
ever
shitting
heard
in the
that
bag.
before.
I think I knew that.
Did I tell you?
I think I knew it.
I mean,
at
it's
the
like,
time.
what do you do?
I don't think you kept much from me ever.
No, I still don't.
No,
But
not
yeah,
ever.
that was a humbling experience. And I would shower at the YMCA.
Oh,
Remember
right,
we used to,
right.
we worked out
Yep,
together
we
for
did.
a hot minute.
Yep, at the YMCA.
I'm the girl who was like, I'm gonna work out every day, and I get my outfits and my shoes,
Yeah.
and I'd do it for a week and a half solid, and then I'm done.
And then, okay, I pretty much did that.
Pretty
Awesome.
much did that. I tried it on, didn't like it.
I look real good.
Listen, the outfits on fleek, my shoes barely worn. The tread isn't even worn on them, but yeah,
That's funny.
shit in a bag, the
Yes.
Ralph's bag. I'll never forget that.
Well, you know what? It was a $900,000 shit.
It was,
Right?
and guess what? Earned every second of that one.
Yep.
Yeah, so we sold at the height of the market. Doug did a beautiful job. It's his first real big thing he did design-wise, because he was self-taught on CAD, and he would spend all his hours when he wasn't doing that or hanging out with me on that computer, clicking and learning CAD. And so it's morphed into his own business,
Right.
SDG, like Strand Design Group. So, you know, I fell in love with skincare, and I just wanted to heal skin and was obsessed with it. And I started formulating product. Met a manufacturer, started making product, and then we moved. We had Avery, and I was done with my career here, and we said, that's it. We don't want to raise Avery here. We got to go. And it was when I was literally needing to go to Target, because we finally got a Target in West Hollywood.
Yeah.
Because we lived off of Laurel Canyon and Sunset. I remember being like, it took me 45 minutes to go less than 3 miles.
Yeah.
And I was having road rage hard.
Yeah.
And I knew I was in trouble when I had my big Yukon, and someone, of course, drove past me and flipped me off because I had a big gas guzzler Yukon, which now is okay.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, yeah, you go fuck yourself. And then whatever. And someone rode up so hard on me. I had Avery as an infant in the back seat. They almost hit me because they didn't pay attention. And I got out of my car. See, I was having major anxiety, and I got out of my car. Avery's in the car. I shut my door. I go to their window. I knock on their window, and I was like, "What the fuck are you doing? You just almost killed." My daughter's in a running car.
Yeah, no, you should not. Yeah.
Lost my mind.
Could have killed you.
Lost my mind.
In
It
LA,
coulda killed-
they could have killed you.
And this was not too road ragey back in the day. Like now, like never would I ever do that. But I had this and I said, this is bad. How do I live like this? What do I do?
Yeah, I remember talking to you, and the different people function differently in different environments.
Totally.
I could never raise my child in New York City.
Yeah.
Not ever. I lived in New York for 4 years. There's no fucking way I could live in 900 square feet with 4 people. And people do it.
Yeah.
People do it all the time. And that works for those people, and God bless you.
Yeah.
But I remember you calling me and venting just about going to Target.
It was the worst experience.
And for you, it was intolerable. Once the baby came, because the baby's in the thing, you got to get the baby out of the thing in the bucket. It's too heavy. It's too much.
Everything.
How do you get your shit to the car? You got to take an elevator down to the parking with the buggy, with the baby, and it's just too much.
And I had 45 steps in my house to get up to my house.
That's right.
Concrete steps. Then in the house to go up to my house. I fell down those goddamn steps. Doug,
they weren't.
Doug used to fall down going up because I get migraines. So he would be bringing up I had to have a Wendy's single with cheese, mayonnaise, mustard, ketchup, and lettuce. And I'd have my Coca-Cola and my French fries. He'd be coming up. And this is the best shit ever. This is what I hear. Boom, boom. And I'm waiting for the Coke. When you're sick with a migraine.
Yeah.
If you've barfed too, all you want is a burger and fries and that Coca-Cola on your lips. And he's coming up and I hear, oh.
He's fallen.
The Coke is everywhere.
Oh, no.
The burger, he comes up and he's drenched and he just looks at me like, fucking, thanks a lot. And I'm thinking, know where you're stepping, dumbass.
Right.
We've lived in this house how long? Like, come on. Yeah, it just got too much.
Weren't the steps really narrow?
Narrow, and they were very steep.
Yeah.
Because it was a 1920s
and with the baby
house.
in a bucket?
Carrying her was so scary to me. And you just couldn't. Listen, New Yorkers, like you're saying, they live on top of each other. I just couldn't do it. I needed to breathe. Yeah. And that's when my claustrophobia started coming a little bit off hinges. And as I've gotten older, it got really bad. Where I started avoiding elevators.
Right.
Like I'm going to Vegas tomorrow for a trade show event, and I'm already having the cognitive behavioral therapy I took for a year is kicking in, where they're like, stop thinking about what floor you're going to be on.
Right.
Stop thinking about how long it could take you. Stop thinking about getting stuck on that elevator. So,
Yeah.
But I gave in to my claustrophobia because I'm driving to Vegas tomorrow.
Oh.
And canceled my flight. Because if I can avoid it, I will.
Right.
So, traveling and doing that's a whole nother
That's a whole nother podcast.
Dude.
So you were developing
Asheville.
skincare.
Yeah, developing skincare.
And you moved to Asheville. You found a manufacturer. Started. How did you meet?
I met Alana because we bought a 4,000 square foot house and we were buying a king bed for the first time. And her boyfriend, who's now her husband, family owned a mattress store. And I went in and he's handsome, young Italian guy named Vinny. And I just was like, we had Avery. Avery was 1 and change, so she was kind of wobbling around. And we had just moved there. We've been there a week and something. And I was like, I want to get a king bed. Oh my gosh. So we're testing the king beds. Avery's bouncing around and he was so sweet to Avery. Gave her the big sleep sheep, the sleep thing.
Yeah.
She still had that until we moved when she was 13. And so we literally met him. I told him I'm building a spa. I had already put down a deposit on a condo, like a basement space. And I had dreamt the name Spa Theology up. It was like songwriting to me. A lot of names of brands that I do, because that's what I do now, is more of our brands and branding. And I dreamt Spa Theology, and I was like, that's a great name.
Yeah.
And spa means saunus per aquam. Okay, healing through water. Theology, it's a study of God, light, spirit. And I thought it's whatever you want it to be, but it's the study of. And I'm like, Spa Theology, done.
Yeah.
And I drew the logo on my head. Doug and I had the color themes, but I've never owned a spa.
Right.
I know nothing about spa operations, but I know how I want it to feel.
Right.
Because I remember when I was a celebrity in other people's minds, I never felt like a celebrity, but I felt like I was somebody when I was in spas. Not like I was, I'm a celebrity. I felt important.
Right.
Valued. I felt appreciated. I felt like I mattered.
Right.
And I remember that feeling viscerally, like the focus is all on healing me.
Right.
And I was quiet, and I'm never quiet.
Right.
If you made me like do a mantra and like meditate, you can go suck your own balls. All right. It ain't happening. I tried it. It'll never work.
Right.
Yoga, worst thing in my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
That means you need it. Well, maybe when I'm dead, because
Right.
it's not going to happen. I can't do it. So I met him. I told him I was opening this spa because I had a skincare I wanted to do in a spa. He's like, you should meet my girlfriend. She works at, it was a resort spa in town, the only one resort we had. And he said she is a spa manager, but she's moving to Naples because she got headhunted by a big Noble House Hotel and Resort. She's going to be helping them with their spa. I was like, oh, I'd love to meet her. I don't know anyone here.
Right.
And so I called her. She didn't call me back. I was like, fuck it. So I went down to where she worked and said I had a meeting with her. That's the LA in me, right? Like, oh, I have that just reminded me. Do you remember Renee Silverman? That was my fake manager. I created a fake manager back in my acting days.
I don't remember that.
I would call up.
Sort of, but
I would call up places. This has a point.
I think you are a hedgehog. I think you think you're a fox, but I think you may be a hedgehog.
I don't know.
I think you might be.
But I called and I would say, whoever's casting, a big casting director. Yeah, hello, this is Renee Silverman. Listen, I've got an actress here. Her name is Christina Renee, because I dropped Rumbley because I thought it was too much. I had to be prettier than that. Christina Renee. She's fantastic. All right, this is Renee Silverman. You don't know who I am. I'm Renee Silverman. I told Alana about Renee Silverman because I literally would send my headshot from Renee Silverman management. Which is Renee Silverman.
Which is you.
Yes.
That's hysterical.
I was always waiting for someone to call and be like, is Renee Silverman there? Yes, she is.
One moment, please.
And I'm here like, I'm Renee Silverman. Well, why does she sound like she's like a New Yorker, but she lives in LA and her name is Renee Silverman? She might even be Jewish. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe she's from Florida, but Jewish, but by New York. And the accent's so confusing at this point.
And sometimes I change it. Then I'm Irish. And I literally was like, I got to do something. You know what I mean? Because it was back in the day of us going to Beverly Hills Playhouse.
Yeah.
And I remember, we'd sit all together and do our resumes. And
it was called admin.
What? Oh
yes. We would have admin meetings.
And you would just
you would admin the fuck out of everything.
Every Backstage West, every bad semi-porno. You're sending it out.
And
you're like,
buy postcards of yourself.
You would spend
mailing.
so much money on these damn things. And then everyone's sitting around talking about what they're going to be doing and this indie film. And you're trying to be relevant. And meanwhile, you're like, I don't have any auditions, but I know it's coming. So Renee Silverman was going to get me my auditions because she's not me. Well, no one ever called Renee. Okay. Yeah. I spent $5,000 on headshots when I lived out here. Do you know why? I moved out here. My hair looked more like this.
Yeah.
Because I was more of a strawberry blonde. And Maureen O'Boyle, who used to be the reporter on Current Affairs.
Yes.
My roommate at the time, Eris, was her assistant because she moved out and got an internship. We lived together. She says, Maureen wants to meet you. We're going to go have lunch. You want to meet her? And I'm like, I'm going to meet a celebrity? Yeah, because she's going to make me famous.
Totally.
That's what you believe when you're in Florida.
Totally.
And I go and I meet her. We're sitting there at lunch and she goes, Maureen, I'll never forget this. She goes, yeah, what's up with the hair? What's up with all of that? And I'm like, are you talking to me? Oh, well, I just have naturally curly hair. It's kind of like white trash hair.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I have an amazing stylist. And you've got to meet him. It's on Cannon Boulevard. And you have to go down there. And I'm thinking, Beverly Hills? Okay. So I go, she makes the appointment with her stylist. And I'm thinking, this is it.
Yeah. I'm on my way.
This is my moment.
Yeah.
She's going to walk me in to somebody because that's what you believe.
Yeah.
Because no one tells you you are the dumbest asshole believing that. You're never going to get in that way.
No.
But you hope. And I've been here literally like a hot minute. And so I was there 4.5 hours. My hair went from longer than this to a bob about to here, right at my neck, my jawline, pixied, and really dark blackberry auburn.
What?
And I walked in there looking 21 and I left looking 37 and a butch cop. The only thing I could audition for when I moved out here after I got that haircut was Army. I was a Marine in something. I was an EMT in something else, and I was a cop in another thing.
Oh my God.
It took my casting and turned me into a middle-aged. It was something went very awry.
Yeah.
And it cost me $500.
Wow.
So my rent. Yeah. And I never, ever forgot that, because it was such a moment of like, well, that was a great lesson, because I was like, I have to stop not having an identity.
Right. You have to know who you are.
And at 21,
It's hard to
you
do.
could tell me who I was, and I'd just cling on to that.
Yeah.
What? I'm this, even in relationships.
Well, I think that's pretty typical.
Yeah.
We don't know who we are at 21. I was thinking about this actually, was it today? I was thinking about this really recently. The one advice I would give to people in their early 20s is to not expect to know who you are.
Right.
To be curious about who you are instead of knowing, because you don't know.
No way.
But to be
I still
curious
don't.
about it, to be curious and to say, well, how do I feel about that?
Yeah.
And do I think this is a good idea?
Right.
Instead of, this has got to be a good idea. It's Maureen O'Boyle, you know,
Totally.
which is what
Because she's got it all together.
So, and her together is really not your together. So,
Ever. I mean, she'd been married
was
3 times.
already
She was doing-
middle-aged.
Right.
Yeah.
And there was like, now I looked like her.
Exactly.
And I was like, oh. So I looked a little Hootery, like, because that's where I came. That was my last job before I got here, was Hooters, and which had its own thing. I remember I went and gave my resume to work. Wait tables. My first job here was Kate Mantellini.
Yeah.
Which now is closed, which makes me so sad.
Yeah.
And I walked in. The manager looked at me, and she was really cool, but she was older woman, and she just went, so I see here on your resume, you worked at Hooters. She goes, let me give you a little word of advice. I'm like, what? She goes, I'd remove that off your resume. I said, really? Why? I did really well there. She goes, there isn't a Hooters in Los Angeles, and it has a bad rap. And I go, really? It's Florida.
Yeah.
You worked at Hooters. You were the shit.
yeah, Florida
Yeah.
Hooters is the place.
I mean, you felt like you were like 5 seconds from being a playmate.
Yeah.
But your values wouldn't let you do that, right?
Exactly,
It's
yeah.
like the closest you could come to kind of being a hooker, kind of, but you weren't.
right.
And it actually was revered as, that's cool. But
Yeah.
out here it was,
That's trashy.
you're white trash.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, okay. But she goes, but I'm gonna hire you anyways because you're funny. And I was like, okay. Best job I ever had. I mean, other than Lowery's, of course. But it was really cool. But I worked till 3 a.m.
Yeah.
You know, and it was all celebrities.
Right.
I'll never forget, I was serving Christian Slater.
Yes.
And this is me. Well, no one can see this, but I had his coffee cup and the saucer, and this was me.
I was just shaking it to death.
Excuse me, Mr. Slater, this is your coffee. And he's like, thank you. You know, and his voice is all crazy voice. And I remember going, get it together, Rumbley.
Rumbley, get it together.
You look ridiculous.
Do you ever serve anybody famous at Lowry's?
Bob Hope.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep, Bob Hope.
Oh, that
One
would have been
time.
really cool.
That was really cool.
I served Larry Flint.
Oh, I served
Do you remember
too.
him?
Oh, do I remember him? Oh, my. Is it cool if I make fun of people? Is that bad? I feel like
I don't know.
Well, he was in a wheelchair.
Yeah,
But
he
I
was
don't-
in a wheelchair, yeah.
And it's not about that, but it was about he had like a stroke.
Yes.
I mean, I don't think he's listening to this. So,
I
and if he
doubt
is. So he was disgusting. And his helper
Yes.
was his mistress, I think.
I'm not sure.
Something. And she would roll him in.
Yeah.
And I met him first when I was cocktailing there.
Oh, okay.
And he would order, and this is how he ordered, I swear to you, and I'm not like mocking him, just PC. He would go, give me a drink. And I would go, I'm sorry, what? I couldn't.
Yeah, I had the same
Give me a
experience. I had
drink.
the same
And he would do
say,
his mouth like, and I would
coffee
go,
black. And he would spit all
and you're
over
like this, and you're thinking, and you know who was with him when I waited on him?
Who?
Ron Jeremy.
Oh my God.
Porn.
Oh my God.
And some girl who, God bless her soul, barely covering her nips. And I'm thinking, is she allowed? Is that in the wardrobe? I don't know if we're allowed to wear that out in
Right,
public.
and especially in
Ron
Lowry's.
Jeremy and his slick balding hair behind his
Jesus.
disgusting ear. And all I'm thinking is, I'd never, I was pretty young at this time. I'm like, I'd never seen a Ron Jeremy. I'd never seen porn like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And everyone said, oh my God, that's Ron Jeremy. You know, he's got like a big penis. And I went, I don't know that. They're like, oh my God, no, he's so gross. Go have fun, And then Larry Flint, give me a drink. And his chick would say to me, yes, give him water.
That's what happened with me too.
Give him water. I'm like, isn't he going to know? She goes, he won't be able to tell.
That happened to me exactly. Except mine was he wanted a 7 and 7.
Yes.
And his handler said, just give him the 7 up. And I
Amazing.
was like,
He was
sure?
drinking seven in water when I was with him, waiting on him. And she just said, give him water, a double like water, and be like, you poured extra or some. I'm like, please, if I have to sit on his lap, I'm gonna throw up. Please don't make me sit on his lap.
So funny. I didn't know that happened to you too.
Yes.
I didn't know anybody else that waited on him but me.
I waited on him.
I never
twice.
saw
That was it.
him.
He was gross. And every crew he had was disgusting. And he would almost like fall asleep at the table. He's drooling. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is the big like penthouse guy?
Yeah, he had a stroke or something.
I know. It was sad. But everyone was like
but you know
using
what?
him. They were all around him.
He got his 7 up. That was
Yes.
supposed to be 7 and 7.
Yep.
And he got drunk. Progressively drunk, right? So by the end of the night, he was incoherent. And I was like, you're drinking fucking 7 Up.
And you're like,
like
is it
7
for
Up
the
straight.
crowd? Like,
I don't
what?
know.
Maybe he had that thing where it happens without it. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
That
It's
people
the
can
placebo
believe.
effect. Yeah. Where he believed it. But I remember watching him going, he is fucking getting drunk. And he's barely.
And he's on water, basically.
It's
7 Up.
7 Up.
I don't
was
understand
bizarre.
it. It is bizarre.
I
He
didn't
was
know you had
bizarre.
that same experience. That's so funny.
I
that
did.
was bizarre.
Him and Guns N' Roses, Axl Rose, who
Oh, yeah?
he came in and he looked so bad.
He did.
Well, he'd had all that surgery and he just looked really weird. It's kind of like when you see Mickey Rourke. Like I saw Mickey Rourke one time out at a club and I remember being like, wow,
That didn't look good.
totally different than 9.5 Weeks, which was like that steamy movie
Yeah,
that he
yeah.
did. Yeah, you were like, oh, it's Mickey Rourke. And you're like, oh, it's Mickey Rourke. Yeah.
Well, I waited on Trey Parker and Matt Stone. Is that their name? The South Park guys?
Yeah.
They may be really nice people, but they were not nice to me.
Really?
They were so
And they were at their career like peer.
dismissive.
Isn't that
and
bad?
shitty.
Don't you hate that?
Yeah, and I wasn't even like, South Park, oh my God.
Right.
I was just being my friendly, normal self and just happened to
And it's not
recognize
enough.
them.
I can't even look at you in the eye. I used to hate that.
Yeah, it was
You're beneath me.
you're beneath me.
Yes.
It wasn't
You're here to serve me.
It wasn't I'm so over celebrity I can't deal with it.
Please
It wasn't
don't ask me for an
that.
autograph. Right? No.
It was get me this. Like that kind of shit.
See, and then you experience Bob Hope, and you're like, that's a real celebrity.
I bet.
Because he was just cool.
I bet.
He told me, you know what I asked him? I said, what is your advice to living an amazing life? And he said, I get a massage every day.
I knew that about him. I had read that somewhere about him.
I get a massage every day.
about
And I
that?
went, and this was before spa was in my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
So when I told that story to some of our employees and our team, and I said, if Bob Hope can do it, gosh darn it. You know, it was
We
like,
should
that's
too.
important, you know?
It is.
I fell in love with spa, I think, because it wasn't a luxury. It was a luxury when I was, trying to make ends meet, but it became a way of a wellness. It's when I was quiet.
Right.
I gave myself permission to not perform.
Right.
And in everything. And so when I learned about myself that I'm not I don't need a lot of time of quietness. I'm a creature of habit. I'm a homebody. Thank God my husband is too, so it works well. He's not like an adventure seeker, because that would be a problem for me, because I think a lot of stuff stops me from that because I don't have it. It's not inside me to go, I want to go climb Mount Everest. Get the
Yeah, right.
Send me pictures. I'll cheer for you from the sidelines. A marathon. I'm like, why? Your nipples fall off in your toes?
Yeah.
I'm good.
I pass. Yeah. I pass on that kind of
I
stuff.
have friends that are like, oh my God, it's the most amazing thing. I'm like, is it?
You know what's amazing also? A massage followed by a facial on Mother's Day. That's
Let's
amazing.
throw in a pedicure. We're golden.
Yeah, right?
I just loved how people felt when they leave. And so when I met Alana, and she came from the therapy background of it, and she came from the operational side, and she was bright-eyed, 23 years old, beautiful woman, just fun, and her energy matched mine. Like it was, and I don't meet a lot of people that can go toe to toe with me energy wise.
Right.
Usually I can exhaust people. I know that about myself.
Right.
I know I can come in a room and suck the energy out of a room in 5 seconds flat, or I can ignite the energy in a room,
Right.
depending on the perception of the person.
Right.
And that took a long time. You know who taught me that lesson at Lowery's?
Who?
Ralph.
No.
Kim Ralph.
No.
Miss Ralph. She said to me once, because she was pretty chill, right?
Yeah.
Her husband was an actor, or is an actor.
Yeah.
And came in and I'd be like, "Ba-da-da-da-da-da," and she went, hey, Rumbley, holy shit. you're exhausting me just by talking right now. I need to, she goes, can you just tune it back a couple 1,000 degrees? Now I was offended at first. Like, well, hey, why don't you perk it up?
Right.
Later in life, I realized that was her personality and friendship with me saying, you got to read your audience better.
Right.
Very difficult to do when you don't have a barometer gauge.
Yeah.
Which I lack. And that's one of the reasons why my business partnership works so well. I had to give...
Do you feel she has a better barometer?
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
She's listens more. She's definitely more calm. She's quieter. I'm more outgoing. What we learned about our relationship is I was older and I'd been through this I-5 thing. I know what it's like to have to navigate female relationships and partnerships to be successful.
Right.
And I went, okay, she is young. She's smart. She's beautiful. And I struggled in the beginning a little bit because I never wanted to be seen as the money girl.
Yeah.
Her and I talked about that a lot because I would be like, I don't like if people think I just came in with money and you're the brains.
Right.
And it really was hard. There's a lot of ego that you have to swallow when you're in a partnership.
Right.
You have to do it in a husband-wife, but it's different. This is like on a business level, I have to be seen as your equal or it's never going to work. Right.
Right.
And it's a dance. And I remember I gave her permission to tap me in a meeting under the table, never in front of anybody. I don't want anyone to know you're doing it.
Right.
Because that embarrassed me.
Right.
But I gave her permission, which was hard for her in the beginning, but then she started getting it. I said, I don't have a barometer gauge. I don't know when I need to stop and ask a question.
Right.
Because I'm entertaining and I'm performing.
Right.
It's authentic, but I'm in mode.
Yeah.
And so she would clue in on that and she would tap me or hit my leg with her foot or something. It worked so well.
That's awesome.
And that would be her way going, end it, and she would come in. So we did this dance. It got so good where she didn't have to do it anymore because I figured it out.
Right.
That if she accidentally like turned her leg and hit me, I'd go, up, like.
And stopping.
Yeah. And she would go, oh, no. In the middle of a meeting. She'd go, no. And I'd be like, okay. Because I didn't know what was going on.
Right.
And then when I got a little older than that, I mean, it's almost 15 years. One time she did tap my leg and I looked and I went, no. And I kept going because it was with our team or something.
Right.
And that's a thing. I think I was so insecure of not wanting to step on toes because in I-5, it was a constant battle with who's in charge, who's bigger balls.
A volleying for
and
position.
me losing my voice.
Right.
And I was trepidatious about it.
Sure.
But it kind of gave me the boot camp, if you will, for that was in that group.
Yeah.
I learned how to navigate females, and 98% of my company is females.
Well, yeah, because it's spa industry, right?
Absolutely. And, so I fell in love with spa. I opened up Spa Theology, and Alana came back to Asheville, and we partnered up after I opened Spa Theology. And she and I didn't get a paycheck for 3 years. And
wow.
And I remember Doug saying, we got one shot at this because if this doesn't work, he's like, I've got to go back to California and try to make a living for us, right?
Right.
And I remember we had 2 more months left in savings.
And then what happened?
We got a great gig. We cold called, and that was my LA side, right? That whole Renee Silverman, right?
Yes, Renee.
Renee.
This is Renee.
Renee's
I'm calling about your spa.
We called the Biltmore Estate, and that's a big house in LA. I mean, in Asheville. And we cold called them, and the head honcho answered the phone at the Biltmore company. And we said, we own a spa consulting firm called Innovative Spa Management. We understand you don't have a spa at the Inn on Biltmore Estate. We wanted to talk to anyone in charge that may be interested. And we walked ourselves in there and we got our gig.
Wow.
And the catch with that one was the manager, he changed our lives, the VP there, because he got a kick out of us is what it was.
Yeah.
And I mean, Alana, she put together this proposal and it was literally like a big book of how great we were. And boom, here's our protocols, our procedures. And it's just quaff because she came from a resort.
Yeah.
And she spoke that language. I didn't.
Right.
Waiting tables. What am I going to do for you?
Yeah.
I was a singing telegram girl back at Florida State. And then I've had so many jobs.
You're just a mover and a shaker.
Yeah. I worked at Champ Sporting Goods, Glamour Shots, you name it. I've done it. And I was like, I literally was a bunny in a parade. And that was the big Easter bunny in Florida at 95 degrees, almost passed out. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
why was
Hey, I was Snoopy at the MetLife convention outside 100 degrees.
See?
Yep. It was awful. Smelled terrible in that suit, doesn't it?
disgusting? Your own breath. You're like, where's the fans? I don't know how the people do at Disney.
I don't either.
Anyways, but that was our big break. And he just said, you guys impressed me. And then he called me and he said, listen, I want to put you guys in front of the Biltmore owners. He goes, but I got to tell you, I'm a little nervous. And I'm like, why? He said, I'm nervous about you. And I went, why? He goes, because you're the wild card. You're a little rogue, because it's very conservative and very coiffed. I mean, they're the cufflinks.
Right.
And I said to him, well, whatever we need to do to get the gig, just so we're clear, like whatever I need to do. If you don't want me in the room because Alana's more coiffed than me, let's do it. I don't care. Hung up the phone with him. I called Alana. I said, just don't be my partner, because I'm screwing this up for us. I'm too loud. I'm too this. Because I had told him when we walked into their makeshift spa in one of their hotel rooms. And remember, I don't come from that hotel world. I don't care what you think of me so much.
Right.
And I just said, do you want me to be honest? And he was like, absolutely. And I said, this is disgusting. This is disgusting. And if I came here and paid $500 a night and I got a $95 or $100 massage, that would drive me crazy.
Right.
Is she a mouse? What did she do?
What are you doing, Isla Kreischer?
We're filming a music video for
Yeah.
Georgia.
Yeah.
We went outside for a few minutes, and I guess there were some weed-based marijuana things for Priscilla or Mona to eat, and Priscilla ate it.
She did.
Yeah, like half the bag.
Oh.
I
Awesome.
don't know if it's bad for her.
I think she's going to be okay. But thank you for letting me know. And you look very cute
Oh, you're adorable.
with your little pants we bought in Bali. She is okay. Good.
I love that.
Bye.
That is so cute. Little cat.
Georgia has started making music videos, lip syncing to popular songs.
Oh, I love that.
Nowadays.
What song are they making? What song is it? Do you know?
The one she did yesterday was shit. I don't remember. Senorita.
Oh, that's a good one. It's a
And
great
she
song.
had a costume as the male and the female.
Oh, so it was half and half kind of
no,
thing? Oh,
no. She would. She edited.
She's editing?
Yes, she
That's
shot
awesome.
the female part.
No, and then she
shot
edited the male
part, and she edited them together.
I love that.
And they have different costumes, and she did like shots of their feet dancing, and there's different shoes.
I love it.
And
She's very talented. You have a very talented family
she's
here.
very creative.
Yes, she is.
She wore a lot of really red lipstick, and she used her tongue a little too prominently. And I was like, I'm not really sure.
You were like this. I have to edit that. I have to put my little...
Senorita. And I was like, who you sending this to?
Exactly.
And she went,
YouTube.
just Elizabeth and Gabby and Maria.
wherever they send
And
it
I was
to.
like, okay, well, just tell them just to keep it amongst yourselves. And then she went, oh, it's 6 minutes long. I can't send it to anybody. And I'm thinking, of course you can. And I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
I guess you can't. Ugh.
bummer. That's a real
That
bummer.
sucks.
I guess
Yeah.
you can show it to them next time you hang out.
In person. That's right. Old
Oh,
school.
thank God. But it was really cute. It was really innocent.
Of course
she wasn't
it is.
even like
It always
mugging
is.
to be sexy.
No, 'cause they
But
don't even
la,
think
la,
like
la,
that.
la, 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 la. And I was like, that's not how you use your mouth when you say that word.
I know.
And to a boy, that might be a bit provocative.
Yeah, totally. And they don't get it. My daughter, yesterday, she's practicing makeup. She started wearing makeup a year ago, very little bit, doing a little wing. And when she first did it, I was like, it's a little hookery. But okay.
They got to figure it out.
I'm going to let you figure it out. She came down the other day with full on makeup, and Doug went, you look like a hooker. And she goes, what? I like it. He goes, never are you leaving that house.
Oh my God.
Because you look horrific. And I'm like, she's just practicing.
Yeah, right.
She wouldn't leave this house looking like that, would you, Avery? She was like, I'm like, would you? Well, this is the Aspie kid who can't pick up on my cues.
Yeah.
I'm looking, my eyeballs are big, and I'm like, say no, I wouldn't. She's like, I would. Because that's like, you are not over my dead body. You look off. No. And so I told him later, I'm like, you can't say she looks awful. She a self-esteem thing. So just tell her, hey, you need to go lighter on it. It brings way too much attention. And it just doesn't look good
Age
like
appropriate.
you.
Yeah.
Right? Age appropriate.
Not age appropriate.
Last night I called and she's FaceTiming me and I was like, what's going on with your face? What's up? What's up? She was like, well, my lipstick is a little dark. I'm like, I'm not even looking at the lipstick. I'm looking at the eyes. What's going on? It's just like, And she doesn't wear too much, but Doug saw it too. And he was like, what is she doing? I go, I don't know where to draw the line.
I know. It's hard. It's really hard. Georgia has a friend who's been really into makeup for a long time. And she's really into like booty shorts, like legit. That kind of legit outfit. Crazy. And her mother struggles because her mother's like, I don't want her to feel bad about herself. I want her to be age appropriate.
Yeah.
But the line is just so hard to agree on a line.
It is.
Because she won't agree to what her mother, and her mother will give a little, and she's like, and I'm going to go 4 steps over that.
Of course.
And she's like, but no, I come 2 steps back at least. Nope, I'm 4 steps over.
Yep.
And then you go, well, what do you do? Do you lock them in a closet?
Yeah.
No, all you can do is say, it's a little heavy. It's a little much. Maybe adjust just a little bit and then hope they start getting it, I guess. I don't know. Or you can just be like a regular parent and go, you're not fucking wearing that.
That's what I do. I'm up in her crawl. Yeah. I'm like, I am a crawl daddy.
We're a little bit that way too.
And listen, I get shit. I told you, we don't have any friends. And the reason why is because we can't relate to any one parenting style. And I feel bad about that because I feel like we've isolated our daughter also because of that. But, Avery always liked the broken bird.
Right.
And she's like, oh, so-and-so wants me to come over. I don't know. She has an older brother and, the mom's boyfriend's coming over. The fuck? Not happening.
Yeah.
I don't know her. I don't know him. I damn sure don't know that son. And that sounds so like archaic. And I'm like, in this day and age, I don't care. I need to know who, how, and when at all times. But I've also done a disservice with her because I've also kept it so tight that she's afraid of her own shadow sometimes.
Right. It's hard to find the balance. I think, with Georgia, we've always been in this elementary school and middle school. Everybody lives here. I know everybody. I know all our friends. But when she went to private school 30 minutes away, now we're in a whole new stratosphere. Right. And it doesn't occur to her to have the parents talk to each other.
Right.
Doesn't even cross her mind because she's grown up in this little bubble where I know all her friends' parents as adults and all the siblings. I know everybody.
Yeah.
So there's I don't have any concerns about anybody. She could free flow. 4th of July, I didn't see her for 2 full days. 2 days.
Amazing.
She left my house and she didn't come back for 2 days. And she was at like 3 different people's houses and I knew everybody she was with.
Wow.
I knew everybody in her. It was like being in Bowden, Georgia. It was really small town in this bubble. But now she's at this private school. She asked to have a sleepover and I went, well, I'm going to need to talk to the mom first. But why? Because I don't know the mom.
Yep.
And I don't know where they live.
Yep.
I don't know
don't know anything.
It's like, what if there's an earthquake and I can't call you? I don't even know where she is.
Yeah.
I got to be able to get to you. I need to talk to the mom first. So she had asked me about the sleepover for like 2 weeks in advance. So give me that mom's number. Okay. Still need to talk to that mom. Okay. And then finally at one point I went, listen, if I don't get her number today, you're not going.
That's right.
So just give me the phone number.
That's right.
So she gave it to me that day after that ultimatum.
Yeah.
And it turned out I did know the mom. Just coincidentally.
Thank goodness.
She went to private school, not in our public elementary school, but she was neighbors to a bunch of my parent friends who knew her daughter. And I was like, awesome. Now you feel
comfortable.
But now I know who she is. I had no idea who you were going to go hang out with.
Totally.
I need to know who these people are.
Agree. And then our kids, yours and my daughter will push back a lot. Like, why? And I'm like, and sometimes you just get because I get so exhausted.
I say so.
I'm like, because bitch, I told you. Because I said, and no. And Avery, because she's extremely literal.
Yeah.
She doesn't get the whole, it's just because I don't feel comfortable with whatever it is we're talking about.
Right.
Could be anything. Well, I don't understand. Well, you don't need to understand. Well, but I don't understand. I said, let me repeat myself. You don't get the right to understand all the time. But don't you value what I think? Not at all. Not right in this situation.
Right.
And she looks at me like, you're just awful. And I'm like, you're damn right I'm awful. You'll love me later. We're not friends.
Right.
We're friendly. I love you. I'd die for you. But you're not going to be an asshole. And I'm going to be in control of the assholeness when it starts creeping up.
And you're not supposed to be their friend.
Not at all.
You're supposed to be their advisor, their guidance, They're a nurturer.
Yes.
They're loving.
They're
and the
drill
person,
sergeant.
you know,
Yes.
so many times I have to say this to my kids. You're not supposed to know how to do this.
That's right.
You're not supposed to recognize danger. You're not supposed to understand how to navigate certain waters. You're not supposed to.
Right.
So you have to learn from somewhere, and it's supposed to be from your parents.
Right.
So when I'm saying to you, I need this mom's phone number, it's not because I think you're an asshole.
Right.
It's because you're not supposed to know anything other than, it's my friend from school, I'm going to her house.
Right.
That's all it should be about.
That's right.
And you don't need to think about anything other than that. You don't need to think about, you know, is
That
there a
is there
natural
another-
disaster? Is there is a predator in her house? Is there,
Right.
you don't need to worry about, that's an adult concern.
That's right.
So let me have it.
Yeah.
And you have your shit and we'll be fine. Isla yesterday was the most amazing human being. She was so great from the time she woke up. She had 2 things she had to do she didn't want to do. She did them with a fabulous attitude. And then after the second one, I took her to, she'd been having sleep anxiety. So we went to see a CBT therapist.
Oh, great.
And this was our follow-up because we went to one visit. She gave her 4 tools. They worked amazing.
That's
so this is
awesome.
our follow-up just to basically say, I think we got it.
Oh,
So
wow.
it was no big deal. Visit, but she didn't want to go because who fucking wants to go
No,
do
Avery
that
doesn't
for an
wanna go to
hour?
her
She just
therapy
want to go.
ever. Yeah.
So we go to therapy, and I remember that we have a business manager that's here in. And I had remembered that I had ordered their school uniforms and it was delivered there. And I went, oh shoot, Isla, I got to pick up your school uniforms over at Leo's office. So we're going to do that after. Awesome attitude.
Right.
Amazing.
No problem. No. Ugh.
So then she goes, we got back in the car and she goes, can we go to Wiener Schnitzel and get a Blizzard? And I'm on the phone with Bert. And Bert's having some drama
Sure.
with his work. And he's needing to talk to me. And I go, 1 second. And she goes, Wiener Schnitzel. Can I have Wiener Schnitzel? Can I have the Wiener Schnitzel? And I went, 1 second. I'm talking to Dad.
Right.
But I want the Wiener Schnitzel, Wiener Schnitzel. And I went, then the answer is no. It's no. I've
Right.
told you 1 second twice.
Right.
And if you can't regulate yourself enough to realize that I'm on a conversation that you hear on speakerphone
Right.
with your dad who
Acknowledge.
needs my help. He's calling for help. He's not
Yes.
calling to say, hey, babe, what's up?
Right.
I'm having a serious, if you can't read that, then you can't have the damn ice cream.
That's right.
And she was like, meh.
Yeah.
And I was like, how else are you supposed to learn this?
Yeah.
I've said 1 second twice now.
Yep.
That should be all I need to say.
That's all.
You need
that's
to regulate
exactly
your fucking ass.
all
Regulate.
day. This is my life. What you just.
I hate it.
I deal with that, Leanne.
It's exhausting.
Well, it is
Because
because
I'm not saying no.
no.
I'm
I
saying
know.
give me 1 second.
1 second. And for me, Avery would have read that 1 second, and this is my kid. She'd look at her watch and
She would
go.
look at her watch and go,
I'm
1
not
second.
shitting you. She's done it before. She goes, 1,000, boom. Can I please have? And I'd go, and I lose it. I lose it.
Oh my God.
And I'll say, stop being literal. I can't. Yes, you can. No, I can't.
now you know she kinda can't.
Literally, I can't.
Oh my God.
Oh, it makes me want to just sometimes go drink and do drugs.
I know, right?
Hard.
It's exhausting because you go,
How are you going to navigate life? Honestly, for me,
yes.
I'm like, you're out of the house in 3 years.
Yes.
I'm thinking it's going to be longer for Avery. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, it's definitely
she
gonna be
doesn't
longer for
know
mine,
it.
yeah.
Definitely going to be longer.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
she's smart enough that she absolutely could go to a really awesome school. And her little ass is so literal. She's like, I don't want to go to a North Carolina school. And I go, why? Well, I'd like to go to out of state college. Can you please tell me why? North Carolina schools aren't that good. I'm like, where did you
What?
read or hear that?
What a Duke.
She goes, I just don't want to go, whatever. And I go, how about this? I'm not paying for you to go out of state because your little butt doesn't feel like it wants to go somewhere. Well, I mean, I told you I wanted to look at New York. I mean, acting and then see.
the truth
Don't
comes
talk
out.
about acting
Right.
if you're not going to do the work. Right. And that's when I lose it. Her and I go toe to toe more about the laziness factor of because she can sing and she actually is pretty good at acting, which is crazy for an Aspie kid, but they're drawn to music and they're drawn to theater.
Right.
I didn't know that. But I'm like, how do you act if you can't read emotion?
I don't know. They mimic, which
Well,
is
but
acting.
how do you, if I'm what I'm saying doesn't matter, right? Literally, it's what I'm feeling behind it.
Right.
And I used to try. I'd be like, Avery, why don't you go over lines with me? And she's like, no, I got it. Because she is petrified to sing in front of people. Or this. I'm like, how are you going to do it?
Right.
She says to me, is there any way you'd ever get me like, I know I read this thing about Barbra Streisand, like she took medication before she would audition. I'm like, Avery, never. Are you Barbra Streisand?
Last I checked,
if you
maybe no.
sang like Barbra Streisand, I might do it. Because you're a ticket to ride.
Hysterical.
What the fuck? I'm like, because Avery, we used to laugh when she was younger that Avery was the girl who would literally twirl one time, and she was a ballerina.
Oh my God.
She would kick a soccer ball one time.
Mia Hamm.
I play soccer.
Mia Hamm.
Yeah. I got a tennis racket. I play tennis. No, you don't. And this was me because of acting and singing. And I really did sing. And so she used to say that, like, well, I sing, I play the piano. No, you don't. You have a piano. You've touched it once. You do not play piano. Well, so when I act, have you been in a play? Before she'd been in a play, I'm like, were you in a play that I was unaware of?
Right.
That I wasn't invited to, incognito, in your dreams? Right. Now you are an actress? You better get the fuck out of here.
Right.
It's hard. I mean, Doug is worse because he had to work really hard at becoming a great guitar player. And he was great.
Right.
And then I worked not as hard as him and got luckier than him. And she doesn't work at all at it and gets in the play.
Right.
So it rewards that behavior. Right. And same thing with A's, straight A's, her whole entire schooling.
Right.
She took, in 7th grade, she took the SATs, got 1120.
Jesus.
Didn't even understand half of the questions, but she's literal. So her multiple choice questions, aces them.
Right.
Easy, because it's so black and white.
Right.
She can see it.
Right.
And I just don't know how to navigate that one.
And I was talking about that the other day on another podcast with Georgia and her friend Tatum, is they're both really hating learning a foreign language. Both of them straight A students, academically high achieving academic kids. And this is I think, at least for Georgia, this is the first time she struggled. And in just the minor teeny amount of struggle is dismantling.
100%.
Because they don't know how to struggle.
Avery's
they don't
never
know
failed.
how to struggle.
That's right.
Like struggling is part of life. And to know how to navigate a struggle is how do you teach that to kids like that who, because their world is school. They're in school so much of their time and that's one of the things that I think is so stupid in California. There's no PE. You have PE one day a week until you get to middle school. Well, my kid is really good at PE, really sucks at reading. So there's no place for her to have that kind of balance shift so that the girl who reads 500 books in the book fair,
right,
who can't kick a soccer ball to save her life, there's no balancing of, hey, sometimes you're good at one thing and you're not good at the others. There's no place for the girl who reads the 500 books to struggle.
That's right.
So now she has a disservice because she's not struggling. My daughter has a disservice because there's nowhere for her to be on top. There's no art class.
Right.
There's no music class.
That's what Avery, same thing.
And I love art, music, and she's actually a really good natural athlete. She's not a smart athlete,
but she's
naturally balanced. I mean, we took her wakeboarding. She got up the first time.
Wow.
Put the wakeboard on her feet, pulled her up, and she wakeboarded for I think it was 7 minutes straight, first time ever.
What?
That's the way
So she has a natural inclination for it. Yeah. Avery, not so much.
There's nowhere in school for that to happen. That's why I started her Girl Scout troop, because I knew in kindergarten that she was that she was intellectually the equal of the smartest kids in that class and couldn't represent herself that way.
So now she has a way.
So I was like, we're going to start a Girl Scout troop because this girl can climb a tree.
Yeah.
She gets dirty and doesn't care.
Yep.
And she's already been camping. She's only 5 and she's already been camping a few times in her life.
Yeah.
And she's good at that. So let's start a Girl Scout troop with all these smart people in your class so that you can feel as good as they are.
That's great.
Because you don't feel as good as they are in the classroom.
That's right.
So if your world is your classroom, how do we create a world that brings those people into that world and it levels the playing field?
Absolutely.
There's so many girls that aren't as adventurous as she is. And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, it just means she's going to have a harder time finding that comfort zone. so that she can
Right.
thrive in the other one and not feel like she's failing in it.
That's right, because
Yeah.
she's not failing. She's
at
just
all.
progressing differently.
Yes.
She's always passed every grade, but she's never been a straight A student.
Right.
Not ever. And I don't
And
ever
they're
expect
tortured
her to
too,
be.
right? Georgia, you said,
Yes.
Avery's totally, she hates it. She's like, I wish I wasn't as smart as I was because I feel like it's harder for me because there's an expectation on
Yeah.
herself. I was like, listen, I don't have expectations on you except to do your best.
Same here.
But if
Georgia
you don't do
has
your
it.
best and you get lazy, and she goes, I've just never failed before. I couldn't. She goes, I would die. I couldn't imagine.
Right.
And I was like, she procrastinates too, though, because she gets rewarded by procrastination, not by me. I lose my shit on her about that.
Yeah.
Because I understand what's going to happen.
Right.
You're going to go to college.
And you're
That
fucked.
third time that alarm goes off, I told her, I said, you fail a class in college, you're done. Like, I will pluck your ass out and you can go wait tables for 7 years. I don't care. Because I know that you have got to get your butt in gear.
Right.
And this is where the counseling for us is important with her therapy together. We start that next month where our therapist is going to start talking to us too.
Right.
Because Doug and I don't know how to navigate this Aspie side.
No, yeah.
Because I don't know where the line is drawn. Like we were
Why
talking.
would you know?
I don't know when it's Aspies or just being a teenager being a little butthole.
Right.
And I'm going with being a butthole.
Right.
You're being lazy. You need to shower. Right. We talked about that. The showering makes me lose my mind and I don't understand it.
I don't either.
Someone said, let one boy come around that she likes. So change it. I'm like, I don't know. Avery's a little asexual. I have no idea.
Right.
She doesn't really respond. Like we try. And I've asked her straight out, are you gay? Are you not? She goes, I don't think so. I'm like, maybe you'd know. I don't know.
Well, she's young too.
Yeah.
And some girls just bloom later.
Totally. And it's because she goes, well, I was at an all-girls school for 3 years and it was all of us. And there were no boys.
Right.
And girls are so boy crazy right now. But she likes being around the gossip, but she can't partake in the gossip.
Mm-hmm.
And if she's got nothing to say, I think she gets kind of they gloss over her when
Right.
they're talking about it. And she doesn't have a lot of friends because she doesn't socially kind of connect with them.
Right.
And for her to connect is exhausting. And I will tell her this whole summer, call your friends, call a couple girls to come over. No way. We didn't build this house with a pool for it to be the three of us only all the time. Oh my
Right.
God, I'm sick of you. Please. I'd like to spend some time with your father.
Yeah,
Can you
right?
please get out of my face? Right?
Yeah.
Well, we never hang out anymore. You are in your room. I don't want to go lay in your bed and hang out with the cat. I got a life. Let's go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just weird. I think having an only child, she used to want a brother or sister. And now she's like, I wanted it because it would take attention off me. And then she didn't want it because it would take attention off her.
Right.
It always was about her.
Yeah.
And I said, well, trust me, we wanted another kid too. It wasn't in the cards. And now that it isn't, it is all about you.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be up in your crawl because there's no one else to crawl. And your father, he's a grown man. I've been his mother long enough. Those days are done.
Yeah.
If he doesn't want to do his stuff I don't need that relationship to be challenged because I have a tendency to control. I'm going to control you though on certain
Right.
things. I have to.
Well, yeah. It's part of your job.
Don't you love, I don't know if you get this, but Avery's like, you need to let me fail. Let me fail. And I go, you want me to let you fail? Okay. So I go, all right, here you go. I'm not going to tell you to shower anymore. That's fine. So how about this? If you don't shower by this day, by this time, then you don't have your phone. Because a phone is a reward for good behavior.
Right.
When you don't shower, I find it's bad behavior. I don't want to smell you.
Right.
I don't want to smell you and I don't want to think that you stink. Sorry. It reflects poorly on me as a parent. That's
Yeah,
the truth.
right.
And so there was another thing. She was like, just don't tell me when to do my chores. Just let me do them. I'm like, okay. So I sit and I watch. What time do you think she does her chores?
Right before bed?
11:57 before the next day occurs.
Right.
And it takes her like 7 seconds to do her bathroom.
Right.
It's not clean.
No, yeah.
It looks like shit. Then I come in, I'm like, give me your phone. Absolute meltdown. Like her whoopee has been stolen from her.
Do you read much?
Sometimes I do a lot of books on tape because when I travel.
There's a great book called Untangled. Have you heard of this
Oh,
book?
yes, I have. Yes,
Have you read it?
I haven't read it.
You should read it.
Yeah.
Yes, I think I'm going to read it again.
It's
I read
about
it.
girls, isn't it?
It's from a school psychologist who works in an all-girls school.
Avery a woman came and talked about that book, Untangled, at her school.
It's a really great book. I read it probably 3 years ago.
Yeah. I feel
Maybe
like you
not quite
mentioned
that
it to
long,
me.
but long enough ago that it was too early. Right?
Right.
Like my kids hadn't
weren't doing that stuff
That's
yet.
right. And now I don't remember.
Right.
I remember a couple things that have been helpful to me.
Yeah.
One was they want full control of their lives, but they know they're not ready. But they still want it. So that's the push-pull. You know, there's this other book called I Hate You, I Hate You. Now will you take me and Cheryl to the mall?
Oh my gosh.
Well, you're like, that's it.
That's it.
But that's I want my independence, but I can't function without you.
Right.
It's that dichotomy that they live in all day and all night.
Yeah.
So in the book, she had said, find a place where they can have full autonomy.
Yeah.
Whatever that place is. Control of their closet, control of their bedroom, control of their bathroom, control of when they do their chore, whatever it is that you choose that you can withdraw entirely, that you can tolerate as a parent, unplugging entirely.
Right.
Now, it doesn't mean that at a certain point, for health or safety reasons, you go,
Sure.
All right, you are in charge of your room. No food, no drinks allowed in the room.
Right.
Because if you're going to be in charge of your room and it's going to be 6 months until you clean it, I can't have a health hazard with like mold growing
Totally.
and
Bugs
bugs
and shit. Yeah.
and shit. So you can have your room, close the door. I'm going to need it cleaned on Thanksgiving, Christmas, those dates when we have family over.
Right.
It's got to be spotless. Until then,
Go nuts.
go fucking nuts. And it gives them the autonomy so that in the other places where you have to impose,
Yes.
then it's more tolerable.
That makes sense.
It makes total sense because if they want that freedom, they can't have it.
Right.
They can't drive.
No.
They can't have it. And
Right.
So where can they have it?
I
So
like that.
I fucking hate it. But I do that with my
Yes.
kids' room. Where I go, I just close the door. Close the door.
Yep.
If you can't walk through it and you fall over your own damn tennis shoe, that's your fault.
Right.
But
and you're
there's-
hoping that they have the epiphany, the light bulb, when they're like, God, this is really gross.
But they do.
do they?
And suddenly Georgia will go, you know what? I'm going to clean my room today. And she'll clean it and it'll be beautiful. And I'll walk in there and go, doesn't this feel nice? Wouldn't it be so great to just
was
have it
always
like this every day? You know, if you only spent 5 minutes a day cleaning your room, it would look like this every single day.
She's like, I'm not doing it anymore.
She's already shutting me off.
Of course.
Because
and you're
I'm
praising
basically
her.
saying, I'm right.
You're
wrong
wrong.
in her brain.
Yeah.
But really what I'm saying is, look around. Isn't this nice?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is why I harp on you.
Yes.
Not because I'm an asshole.
Right.
But I can't say that.
I
so
know.
then I've tried to even detach from that and just go in and go, it looks great, babe. So what are we doing now? Are you going to dinner? Just blow it off.
I don't know how you do that.
But the food is a line for me.
Oh,
they
yeah.
cannot have food, or they have water.
Sure.
But they can't have
food and
or
sticky
like
drinks
drink.
and shit. Yeah.
No.
Candy. Mm-mm.
None of that in
Yeah.
their room. And
See,
they
and
seem
Doug
to be
shows
doing good
our
with
house off. So our house kind of always is needing to operate at like 9.
that. But you can just close her door. This is my
You need to
teenager's room.
See that room. That's the problem.
Oh, why?
Because it shows the different design. It's a pretty nice looking room.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I told her, I was like, and she goes, why does he have to have anyone over? I'm like, that's just a gig. Closet? Fine.
Right. Close
Shut
the
it.
door.
We're good.
I wonder if that's something like that is what I think they need that when they're getting to this place, because you have to show them that you trust them in appropriate areas.
Right. Where there
This
can be
is
no
all
damage
you.
emotionally,
That's
right? Like
No
it's like, okay,
damage.
your closet, whatever. If you can't find your clothing or it's like literally in a wad like this, then I guess you're wearing a wrinkled shirt.
And that's on you.
100%.
That's fine.
And hopefully someone makes fun of you.
Right. And you stop doing that.
That's right. But knowing Avery
Right.
and her luck, someone would be
Right.
like that. What a cool looking shirt.
right.
And then she'd go, guess what someone said?
Cooling shirt. Now I'm wadding all my clothes up and stomping on them, spitting on
And I'm
them.
not even I'm gonna wipe my ass with it because I
Right.
want it to smell bad. I mean, like what?
Yeah.
She just gets rewarded a lot, not with me,
Right.
by just outside, influence of whatever. And then, she loves to pull this stuff with me about, hey, what am I going to do when I'm in college? You're not going to be there to wake me up. So let me fail. That whole let me fail. So sure as shit, first day of driver's ed,
Uh-oh.
9 a.m, you had to be there. And I'm like this. I'm sitting and I am up at 6 something just going, she's not going to wake up. She is not going to hear that alarm. She has 2 alarms that go off. I've had to buy this girl like 17,000 clocks that have different alarms. She went on Amazon. I was like, this will be great. This will work. It's the way the alarm goes off in the morning that it makes my day bad.
Oh my God.
So she needed an alarm that would go with the light. It would light up almost like the sunrise.
Oh, how nice. Do bluebirds fly out of it as well?
Does someone come and swoop you up like a stork and blow kisses on you?
They cover you in a cloud.
Yes, and they
then
carry you.
Blow
Yes.
you into the day.
You didn't even have to do your hair. It was already done by the birds.
The squirrels came in and wrapped your hair around their tails.
And they fed you grapes, and you didn't need to eat. It drives me insane. So this thing goes and lines up, and the music starts to get a little louder. Meanwhile, I'm like, and it goes for like 20 minutes.
Oh my God.
Then it shuts off. I don't hear Avery. I'm looking at the clock. I'm like, this bitch is going to be late. And if she's late, she doesn't get in this thing at all.
Right.
I was like, I have to wake her up.
Yeah.
Because, and this is the selfish part, because this is going to derail me.
Yeah.
Because then she has to go longer to a driver's ed that's going to put it on for 3 more months. I don't have time for that shit.
Right.
So what happens is I wake her up, and I wake her up like this. Bam. I mean, I open that door. I'm like, hey, how's it going, failure? Because she goes, I want to fail. Let me fail. So I wake her up with, hey, failure. You failed. Ding dong, ding dong. I felt like I was watching Handmaid's Tale when they're like, sinner, sinner, sinner. You ever seen that? It's great. Death. I was just like, you're a failure. Let's go. And she's just like, why are you getting me up like this? I'm like, you're like, I got you up at all.
Right.
Oh my God, you better. You say you want to drive. And then I'm like, all she hears is wah, 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 wah,
Yeah.
wah.
I don't hear anything. Yeah.
They don't. My dad said that once too, because my dad was the guy who was a stealth bomber. I wasn't raised by him, but I would go and visit. You know, he's the hunter, the police chief, blah, blah, ex-Marine, Vietnam vet. And he would just go, we're getting up at 4:15. We're going to go fishing. So just be ready.
And that's it.
And I'm 10. Is there an alarm in this part of the house that I'm sleeping in that I don't know where I am? And he'd be like, yeah, I got an alarm right there. Great. Of course, I was so afraid to not wake up.
Oh,
because,
yeah.
Well, he had the, what didn't you understand about?
Right.
My mom would be like, I fucking told you, God. And she'd be throwing a belt around your neck. I mean, she was crazy.
Yeah.
And my dad was just more like, I told you not to do that. You did it. So go get my belt and I'll meet you in there in 10 minutes. I mean, and you're like, what's happening? I mean,
right?
Yeah. I mean, he just had this stealth bomber. And he told me when he was around me and Avery, and, you know, she's a teenager and blah, and I just, he says I have my mom's crazy eyes when I get mad. And thanks, Dad. He said, why, if you know it's going to engage in an argument, and he's very well read a lot of leadership books, being
Well,
the
yeah,
chief
he's a
of
police
police.
chief.
Yeah.
He
And he
has
had
to
to
know
deal
how
with
to
all
deal
these
with
people.
confrontation, right?
Right. And so he said, you go in, you say, this is the expectation. I need you to deliver ... by this time. The consequence is said. This is what it is. And my expectation is that gets done. All right? Have an awesome day. Turn your ass around and walk out of the room.
Right.
And you don't engage.
Right.
And so Doug reminded me that the other day. I'm like, it sounds so good.
Yeah.
I love the way that sounds.
Yeah.
Even on paper, it's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
So I tried it once. You didn't do your chores like you were told by 5 o'clock. I need you to hand me your phone. You will get your phone back when I decide that it is appropriate for you to have it. You can expect 1 to 3 days. I just did that. I held my hand out. She's like, but I'm like, and there's no conversation. And she handed me her phone and she was, and I was like this. I'm dying. Because she's like, but it was your fault that, it was going hard. And I'm like, she's going to lose this phone for 2 years. This is what's going to happen. So I started going, every syllable that comes out of your mouth is a week. And I'm like, is that one? Every syllable. I don't want to, every syllable is a week that you lose your phone. How much do you love this phone? I've had to turn up my assholeness so far.
Yeah.
Because she's so literal that I give up. I have no capacity sometimes for the patience of it.
Right.
Because I just go, cause that's what I said.
Right.
That's what I said. But I just don't understand. You don't need to understand. I don't know what else. There's nothing else I can say to you. I don't want to hear your mouth. I don't want to hear your voice. Your voice actually is driving me nuts right now. You know, and I don't want to, it sounds awful. When I hear myself say it, I go, oh God, you sound like an awful parent. And then I go, who else is going to hold her accountable?
Well, yeah, it's about the accountability thing. And, but, I have to say, to be a little devil's advocate.
Yeah, please.
Sometimes I feel like it is important to explain the why.
I know.
Because sometimes I go, the reason, like, especially with chores, the reason chores are important is because it teaches you skills about being an adult. And my job is to get you ready to be an adult.
Yeah.
So that's the whole motivation. It takes me longer to get shit done with your help.
Totally.
So my motivation is not
right?
for me to get help.
Right.
My motivation is for you to learn.
Yeah.
So now do you see why this is important? Yes.
Oh, see, there's the blessing. See, this is what you have that I don't have.
Uh-huh.
I don't get the yes. Never.
Well, I don't always get compliance.
Oh,
but
I don't even
yes.
get a yes. I get a no. I don't see why I ever need to learn how to ride a bike.
Oh, that's right. You were telling me that the other day.
So I have a kid who literally says, she just says, tell me when I'll ever have to ride a bike. And I started going, if you live in New York, I'll take a cab. What if you have no money? I mean, we went down the list.
But don't you want to learn to ride a bike?
Nope.
I loved riding a bike as a kid.
But this is the catch though. Where do you go with that?
Yeah, where do you go
Nope.
with that? Okay, I guess you don't ride a bike.
I need you to eat vegetables because your palate is of a 5-year-old.
Right.
The chicken tenders and the mac and cheese, I actually am having a hard time ordering for you. And when you order them, I literally cringe.
Yeah.
Do you know why, Avery? Because you sound like you should be in a high chair.
Right.
She's like, it's what I like. And I go, so see, I have to get therapy to go, is that okay? Because I don't know if it is okay. And I'm still at 15 having to go, taking a piece of a broccoli and going, you're going to eat that. I really don't want to eat that. I don't really care if you want to. I need your colon to get cleansed. So would you please eat one floret.
One. Right.
And she's just like this because she's a texture kid. And that's part of the Aspie.
Yeah.
Her whole life, it's been this food. And I'm like, but pizza isn't a texture problem?
No problem there? What
No.
if I put the broccoli floret on the pizza?
Can't mix anything, by the way.
Can't mix anything?
Avery can't mix anything.
So then what's on her pizza? Just cheese?
Cheese. Never had anything else on
No
on pizza.
pepperoni, no?
No. Doesn't eat red meat, doesn't eat pork. And she used to, it was because of texture. Now it's political for her. And I go, nah.
Does she eat chicken?
She'll eat chicken.
Go
and
the
she'll
nuggets,
eat
the
fish,
nuggets.
barely. Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Because it's fried.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you eat like you're at a carnival all the time. All the time. You are white trash in a beautiful home.
Does she eat any vegetables?
The sugar ones, peas and corn and carrots. This is a girl who was
Peas
raised
and corn
on
and carrots, okay.
I would do the baby book stuff and grind the spinach and
Yeah,
organic and Earth's Best and all that stuff. It was her birthday party. I have pictures of us there when she got to taste that strawberry shortcake, damn sugar cake.
Yeah.
Her 1-year birthday. And she grabbed that thing and was like, ah. Her palate never went back.
Wow.
I'm not kidding you. I tried. After that, I was like, oh, let's switch up the sweet potatoes to some peas. Nope. Then I started switching, going, okay, well, let's eat this. Yucky. Everything was yucky. She choked. She gagged on applesauce.
Oh my God.
She would gag. And I'd be like, okay, bananas. Texture. And I'm like, strawberries? Sugar on the strawberries. Not a problem.
But she won't
Sugar.
eat just regular strawberries?
Nope. Sugar has to be on them. Not sweet enough.
Wowza.
Yeah, it's hard. Never had salad. Won't eat salad. We'll put ranch on it. Oof. But won't eat potato chips. Doesn't like chips.
Doesn't like chips?
Doesn't like texture.
How crazy.
I'm like, do we need to just mush food up? I have a Vitamix. Go nuts.
Maybe you should chew it for her and then spit
Like
it
a
in her
baby
mouth.
bird. I'd be like this. I'm just doing what the doctor said. I need to chew it up. You know what the doctor told us? And Avery heard this, which always was death to us. Does she eat 5 main things? Yeah, you're good.
5 main things?
Meaning you got 5 meals out of her. You get 5 meals, whatever. Pizza, peanut butter and jelly, mac and cheese. Like what? If you have 5 meals that you know she'll eat, you're fine. Because the doctor said, and this was back in the day and it's coming up more these days, is do not make food
An issue.
and
Yeah,
a
right.
conversation
Yeah, totally.
with a girl.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
And I get
heard
it.
that. Yeah,
So
I heard
now,
that
but
too.
now at 15, the palate
Hasn't changed much?
It hasn't grown at all. And we have a chef. And
Right.
3 days a week, I have someone coming.
You
and cooking.
do?
I do. It's one of the biggest splurges I ever allowed myself.
That's amazing.
Housekeeper, non-negotiable. Have to. I don't have time.
Yeah.
5,600. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Someone will clean this thing. But and I travel a lot. But the chef thing was, I came to terms with that years ago. I can't cook. I have like 3 staple meals.
Right.
And that's, and the family will eat that.
Yeah.
Avery can't eat the meat in the spaghetti. And I tell her it's turkey meat.
Right.
It could be mixed with a little bit of red meat.
Maybe.
I'm just saying. I'm like, listen, if you were a vegan, you wouldn't eat chicken. If you were a vegetarian, politically, I go, Avery, you don't like red meat. It's the texture.
Yeah.
But when it's in spaghetti, she don't know. She's
There's
fine.
no problem.
Like, it helps it taste better. I'm just kidding.
Yes.
You know, like
it does taste better.
it
yes.
does. It's not as dry, but I'll mix stuff in every once in a while. But like, she can't eat ravioli. No way. Can't have anything when she bites and it squishes
So then
something
what does
in.
the chef cook?
Well, we're starting to. The chef is really cool. She's younger and she's like an organic farmer out there.
Awesome.
Really awesome. And you know, Avery loves pasta.
Yeah.
Because it's white, and we do rice pasta sometimes. I'll make her do like organic wheat. Be like, just do wheat pasta. She'll never know the difference. Okay, yeah. She'll make Alfredo sauce by
Okay.
hand, and I'm like, okay, good. And peas. So it's peas, rotisserie chicken, penne pasta, but the peas are separate. The chicken is separate.
Nothing together.
Yeah. So I had, you know, that's always fun. Like, hey, I'm sorry. I know she's 15 and it sounds like I'm spitting up her food for her. Right.
Right.
But I also had to come to terms with it's who she is.
Right.
And that's when I had to start figuring out, how do I navigate who she is and not, I had to go through, when I was going through cognitive behavioral therapy sessions with my therapist too, I was like, I have a really hard time because I feel so guilty because I sometimes don't like who Avery is sometimes. I don't like it. I don't like that she's difficult about that. I don't
Right.
like that that's going to be a problem for her in life.
Right.
I don't like that she has to argue about everything if it's not literally spoken. I go, and I don't want to be disappointed in her. And what did I contribute? And I don't want Doug to get disappointed because sometimes I see it. He says, it's such a disappointment that she doesn't see when you're coming in with your hands full to help you.
Right.
She doesn't see it. And that's when I was like, we have to get in therapy to understand what part of that is Aspie so that we can forgive it and forgive ourselves for feeling that.
But what an amazing, honest statement, for real.
Yeah.
Because there are parts of my kids I don't like.
Yeah.
But no one ever says that. That's so
No.
verboten. You can't say that.
No. Well,
Don't
that's when I was
say that.
I was basically exiled out of that damn mommy and me group because I'm like, this sucks. No one
Well,
hates it.
I mean, how could you possibly like every single thing about anybody?
No, I mean,
You
there's things I
don't.
can't
So
stand about Doug. And
why? Shit.
But
you
you
think
can-
there's shit I don't like about Bert Kreischer?
But that's almost not faux pas, right? It's okay to be like, oh,
No,
my
that's
husband
not,
drives
but
me
your
nuts.
Children
Your children
should be perfection personified.
And that you
they're
are always
not.
pleased.
But
Absolutely
they're
not. No.
And that you're always pleased and that you're always proud.
Yeah,
Well, I
no.
am always proud of my kids. But
I'm
there's,
not.
there's part of both of my kids that I go,
Yeah, that needs work. Yeah. And my fear is that I, by nature, find the joke in stuff and that truth in joking. So when we kind of in our family do the joking, kind of razzing each other, she has what Doug has, where it's okay until it's not.
yeah.
But it can be not okay at the first one, the first
Right,
jab, right?
right.
Like we're funny together as a family unless someone's off, but no one knew you were off and
Yeah.
now you're pissed off.
Yeah.
And I used to tell Doug, like, don't make me walk on eggshells because
Right.
I don't know when the line is there.
Right. The line changes from time
Depending
to time.
on the change of the underwear,
Right.
which in Avery's case, not that much.
Right?
You ain't listening to this. She would kill me. Death. No, but I do think that, and my business partner and I have these conversations a lot because she has 2 kids and they're young though. But I've told her she's watched Avery grow up and watched me deal with that, owning companies and traveling and crying to her and just being, going through marriage stuff, like all of it because she's younger than me. And
Right.
I'm doing everything 7 years in her.
Totally, yeah.
And I'm a senior to her basically.
Yeah.
But I do feel like with Avery, I hate it because I never want her to feel my disappointment.
Totally.
But then I wouldn't be being honest and truthful. But then I'm like, I can't be honest and truthful all the time.
Right.
Because it would break her spirit.
Well, not everybody needs to know everything either.
That's right.
That's another piece of it. My kids don't need to know the parts where I go, maybe that's not the best.
Yeah.
But as long as I know it and I'm honest with it and I can try and either reconcile it within myself. Bert and I had this conversation about Georgia. Bert was like, he feels, I think, a lot of time that he and Isla are on the same page. Isla's fearless. She's adventurous. She's always up for a party. She's always up for fun. And even though Bert fancies himself that, he's not exactly that. But he thinks he is. He's got his shirt off. He's wearing a Speedo. And he is in a certain lane. It's his persona.
Sure.
Georgia's far more cautious. And she's far more balanced than either of them. She's self-regulating. She's really healthy in those ways.
Yeah.
Super healthy, like 40-year-old, born 40 years old.
Wow.
And she's lucky that she doesn't have to learn something. She has other lessons to learn. But Bert was, just between me and Bert, was like talking about how boring she is.
Yeah.
And I stopped him and I said, let me tell you something. She's going to grow up and she's going to be like an event planner or a psychologist or a school teacher, and she's going to marry an accountant.
Yeah.
And you have got to be really proud of that.
100%.
And he went, I don't know if I can do that. And I went, you don't have a fucking choice.
Right.
Because that is who she is.
Right.
And that is where she's safe. And God bless her. Because
it'll save you guys heartache.
Oh,
Can you
100%. No, I just want her to be who she is.
And happy.
And to be happy. And so does he, by the way.
But he's just looking going.
But he's going, where's the party and being a school teacher and marrying an accountant? They're not partying.
I know.
That's not risky.
Yeah.
That's not rip your shirt off Rolling Stone magazine.
Getting her picked up from jail? I mean, what are we? Right.
No, he doesn't want that.
That side.
He wants her to be hungry for life.
Like festive.
But hungry for life for her is stability.
Totally.
Hungry for life for him is excitement.
Totally.
So you have to validate her hunger for life and what that means for her.
Right.
And have no judgment on that. And I, since then, we've had that conversation again. And he's like, oh, I'd be totally happy. You're right. I would much rather her be happy and stable and be in her comfort zone. He was like, if I asked her to be me, she'd be a walking panic attack. Totally. And I'm like, yeah,
exactly.
That's it.
She may marry someone like him, though. You never know.
She may.
She might.
But she may marry someone really boring.
That's right.
Because she takes very good care of her anxiety. She has his same anxiety disorder.
Okay.
Where she has a chemical.
Yeah. It happens.
Wakes her up in the middle of the night with a full panic attack about nothing. So it's a chemical problem.
Yep.
So if you have that, regimented sleep is really important. Exercise is really important.
Probably
having
schedule,
a schedule. Everything really predictable.
Right. And his life is everything but that.
And his panic attacks are all the time.
Yep.
So she sees that and goes, no thanks.
Right.
I'm going to go to school same time every day, go to practice after school for softball every day.
She's responsible too.
I'm going to hang out with the same people every day.
Yep.
Turning in my homework every day.
Yep.
I'm not eating a bunch of sugar. I'm not.
Wow.
She just self-regulates because she goes, I would rather not have to deal with the panic.
Amazing.
Where he can't do that.
Nuh-uh.
He doesn't know how to do that.
Right.
Isla has no panic and very little self-regulation. So Georgia has the panic and a ton of self-regulation.
I can't even imagine. Because we don't have any of that. Like I don't, self-regulation, absolutely not. Self-motivation, absolutely not. Like Avery struggles with motivation. She'll say that too. Like I don't feel motivated to do anything.
Yeah.
And that's depression. And that
is it?
It is for her.
It is. Oh, Halston's nodding in the background. He has depression.
Okay. And my daughter came to me several months ago and just said, because we'd gone through this Aspie thing, and it was through a therapist that she went, and they said yes. And now because we've diagnosed it as such, now she has to go to the center where we have to fill out all this paperwork, and now she can get it diagnosed for insurance.
Got it.
Because they said you're going to want that. For God forbid if they have some miracle something, or if she ever needs to get on medication.
Absolutely, yeah.
And she doesn't understand that quite as much, but she came to me and she goes, can we talk? And I was like, absolutely. And she doesn't have those. She is not a,
Can we talk?
No. Like my husband. There's no, I need to get this off my chest.
Right.
No. Not in the gene pool. It is on mine, full on. And she said, I'm starting to feel like I could be getting depressed. And I said, what makes you say that? And she goes, because I used to feel like I was optimistic. Like, okay, I'm done with this girls' school. I'm going to high school. It'll get better. I'll have more friends. Then I go to the school. I don't have any friends. I don't have anyone to talk to. I don't have my one person. I don't have my bestie. I don't have anybody. And I'm starting to feel myself disintegrating.
Oh my God.
Talk about a fucking... It was like someone took a bat and like hit me right in the head. And
Oh
I
my
just
God.
went, okay, all right. And remember, I'm looking at this through the scope and the lens of my husband going,
Yeah.
okay. And my biggest fear for Avery, when she was younger, what we have in our family on both sides, I have a family member who's like a second cousin running back who's a cutter.
Oh.
Yeah. And I didn't know her that well, that stuff, but has struggled with mental illness her whole life. My aunt's son is schizophrenic. And he is 35, 40 years old, living at home.
Yeah.
She's basically in prison, basically.
Yeah,
Her life is prison.
Yeah.
And she hates it. And he's big dude, and she's scared of him.
Yeah.
Because he's got bipolar and he's schizophrenic. Okay. On Doug's side of the family, we have recently, last year, his brother's son, so my nephew and a half, my half
Your nephew.
nephew, whatever, tried to hang himself.
He did?
Yes, he
How
did.
old was he?
15.
Oh my God.
Him and his best friend made a suicide pact. His best friend did it. And Cameron walked in on his son. Noose was on. Whole nine.
Oh my God.
Listen, it's been a hellacious year and a half. So it was like, so I'm surrounded. And my husband
Wait,
suffers from
hold
depression.
on. What
yeah.
happened? What did they do? Did they put him in therapy?
Oh, he had to go to a home. Oh, yeah. Because it went real dark. And because his friend died.
He's got to feel terrible that he didn't keep his pact with his
100%.
friend. Oh my God, how terrible.
It was awful.
Why did they make this pact?
They started getting into some dark kind of stuff. They were uncovering stuff in his fate. Well, parents weren't really paying attention. It's hard. There's the line. Where is it? Theirs. And I'm like, there is no line. You're in my house. That's just mine. And I'm going to see everything you do. I don't care.
Right.
And so that's just me. But they just weren't noticing it enough. And they had just had dinner with they had pizza with him and their family because they'd known each other for years. And the boys made a pact. And they said how they were going to do it. And it just so happens that Cameron was home that day and walked in the garage and caught him
Oh my God.
in the middle of it.
Oh my God.
Like, had to get him down from it.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah. Like, we didn't know any of this had been going on because they were really reeling from it, dealing with it. And this is the one that's in the middle because they had 6 kids. Remember, they had triplets. So you have older son, middle one, and then triplets. He's the middle one. And I'm like, there's some psychology in that.
There's got to be.
I mean, you just left out. You're in the center.
Yeah.
All attention here, preemie, triplets, and
the triplets
you
has
just
gotta
ignored.
take,
And he was a twin, but the twin in utero passed. So he was, and they had to like birth him and the twin. You know what I mean? It was just crazy. And you look at it and he's doing better now. But I mean, that his mother is beside herself. She's like, I can't
even imagine.
Where did I go? How did we not?
Yeah.
But now they look back and they go, now we see, now they can uncover the signs, right? And so, depression follows both sides. My mom was on Prozac for most of, I wish she'd been on Prozac when I was younger, but she was on Prozac after I left school, and she was a absolute just tyrannical up and down, boom, ba, boom,
Right.
and I just was never that way.
Yeah.
My brother doesn't, and he's a retired general and a major in the Army, and he doesn't get depressed either. It's just, so I look at that. My dad doesn't either. And
Well, it's a chemical. I believe it's part
chemical.
of your chemical makeup.
Right.
There's situational depression, which is something different.
Yeah.
Situational depression. My
Is
dog
something
died. I'm
happened and
super
now-
depressed.
exactly.
I lost my grandfather.
Yeah. You
I've
can
lost my
pinpoint
job.
it. Yeah. You don't get blue.
It's situational.
Yes.
But-
that I can have.
Everybody has that.
I get upset. I
Oh,
can
totally.
identify it. It's so, we
The
were talking about
chemical
this. I
depression-
can't relate.
Yeah.
So with Doug, his mother was a depressed person.
Yeah.
She was I can cut you out of my life and never see you again and never need to have a conversation about it. When she passed away last year, it was like her last words to my husband were, "Fuck you."
No.
It was as we've supported her, bought this little home for her. Everything was wrong with it. And she hadn't seen Avery in 6 years. She lived 7 minutes away.
But why?
Because she was an absolute isolationist. She was the kind of woman that would undo the phone on her birthday and the holidays. And we talked about this, and I said, isn't that interesting? She could beat you to the punch and never know if you called or not. You can't hurt me if I don't know that you even tried to love me.
Wow, that's deep, man.
Oh, there's so much deep shit with his mom. I would try. But I gave up because she started saying things about Doug in front of Avery, like your father. He's like the devil. He's so moody and this. And I'm like, you're not going to talk about my husband like that in front of my kid. That is her hero.
Yeah.
You get one warning, and she did it again. And I was like, that's going to be a problem for me.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be nice. I can hang. And Doug and her, they just never got along and never talked. It was just weird. And he was the guy who was like, I never need to talk to her again. I'd be fine. If his dad died, never spoke to him, was like, meh, cut it off. It doesn't affect me, right? So Avery and him have this ability to get into a depressed state, and they don't know what's happening until they're kind of spiraling. Doug's has been conditioned for years now.
Yeah.
And he only knows it now when I point it out, then I'm the bad guy for a while, right? But once I point it out, he usually 4 or 5 days out, he can go, yeah, I was in a dark hole.
Right.
And I'd be like, can you identify? Because I'm trying to find where's the thread.
Yeah.
Was it work? Was it this? I mean, I'm trying to find the thread. And sometimes there's a thread. And so when Avery came to me and said that, I was like, I didn't cry because I didn't want to show her that I couldn't be strong because I'm the crier, right?
Right.
She didn't cry. She just goes, I feel like I'm disintegrating. And the word disintegrating was like, that's
so
a very
vivid.
intent. Like that is intention.
Mm-hmm.
And all I saw flashing over me was suicidal, cutting. How do I relieve this pain? All that stuff. And I'm like, okay, stay calm. And I said, makes total sense. I get it. I get it. You've been diagnosed with this thing. You don't quite understand it. Does it make you feel different? And how do we deal with that? So told her therapist about that. Avery had to answer some questions. Therapist came afterwards to me and said, Avery is on the questionnaire and it's a range. She is testing mid-range depression. So we are going to address that. And I said, I'd like to address it non-medicationally unless we have to.
Right.
And she was like, we're not anywhere near that medication stuff. And I said, thank you.
Good.
Yeah. Because that, the first thing you think about, people are like, and there you go.
Yeah.
And now we're going to make you quiet and don't speak. And, but Doug takes medication for depression. And to me, I used to be a little faux pas. I was like, no, you don't need that because I was afraid of it because of my mom.
Yeah.
I always thought like, you start taking that, it's going to alter your personality.
Yeah.
Am I going to love who you are?
Right. Yeah.
But it's about her. It's about her mental health. And so for her, it was she just was feeling alone.
Yeah.
She goes, I don't have anyone to talk to. And Doug and I we're in this reconnecting time, and we're shutting the door for the first time ever in her life.
Which is crazy, by the way.
I know.
First time ever is crazy.
To shut the door and be like, no, this is our private time.
Right.
And we could be doing anything we want. Talking, loving,
Well, that's
hooking
where
up.
having a second kid is easier.
I bet.
You guys go play.
Yeah. Be
If the
entertained.
door's locked,
You
keep
ain't coming
playing.
in. Well, we had to tell Avery because we never know if the pin on the lock is going to lock, and I'm always nervous. And I was like, and I had to say, because she walked in one time and it was locked, I said, FYI, if that door's shut, you don't have permission to come in unless you are physically, I want to see flames. You're on fire.
Right. Knock.
If you're vomiting,
All you do is knock.
let me know after you vomit, and the knock should be louder. Because I needed to put up a boundary.
Yeah.
And it was not having those boundaries that created distance with my husband and I.
Right.
Not allowing us to come first.
Which, by the way, is the norm, I think.
It is.
Most people, even we never have dates. We stay connected behind the closed door.
Sure.
But we don't ever go out on dates or just say, Mom and I are going to go in the bedroom and watch a movie.
Or go take a
Just
bath.
the two of us. Or to go take a bath.
Yeah.
Or Or, we're going to go for a swim and no, you're not invited.
Right.
We're such an inclusive family and Bert's gone so much that he feels like when he's home, it should be
everybody.
Big team.
Yeah.
He calls it big team. Big team is together all the time.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. And then after some time, I start going, but wait a minute, I think maybe we should just have a date. Now that they're older, it's a lot easier.
It is.
Because we'll walk down the street and have a drink and come home.
Totally.
And that's all
you
we
can
really
leave
need.
them here.
Yeah, we leave them here.
I love that.
Yeah.
And we don't have another kid. So what happens is Avery...
Is your big team is 3, and it's hard to separate and go, you go be by yourself for 2 hours, and we're going to have a drink.
We don't want you on your phone all the time. What are you doing in your room all the time? Well,
but then what's she supposed to do?
I need her to put her there, right?
Yeah.
Or we'll go in the pool and be like, come in the pool, and then she'll come later, and then she is mad when we want to get out of the pool, and she's by herself. And Doug gets really like concerned. He'll go and like spend more time with her if she's by herself. And I tend to be like, that's her choice. I get a little tough on that because I'm like, we've ignored each other long enough.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We put work, like everything's taken precedence. And if we want to make it, we have to put us first. It won't work. No. And then Avery won't be coming home for a holiday at the home. She'll be at 2 different homes.
Yeah.
Like we have to make us priority. And we just have always put other things in front of it. And I think that was like the midlife crisis kind of stuff.
Well, yeah. And I think it's good that you have it before you're off in a ditch.
Absolutely, because you know how quick it can go off.
Yeah,
absolutely.
in a heartbeat.
In a heartbeat. And that's the thing. So Avery's in therapy, and I'm excited for her. She hates it. I don't want to go. I'm like, you got to go.
Well, if she's saying she feels like she's disintegrating, there was a point when Bert was having, or actually even with Georgia was having sleep anxiety in 5th grade really bad.
Yeah.
And I had sleep anxiety when I was a kid. And I was giving her the tools that worked for me.
Yeah.
And they weren't working for her. And I kept thinking, it's because you're not fucking doing them.
Right.
That's what my brain was going. Of course they work.
Yeah.
They work for me.
Right.
Of course they work.
They'll work for you. Just pay attention to it.
Then at a certain point, I went, actually, I am not an expert. This is actually above my pay grade.
That's right.
So why don't I go get somebody who knows what they're doing, cognitive behavioral therapist, to help? So we did. And my tools are not what she needed.
Right.
Because her brain has OCD, and not OCD, has panic.
Right. And you
I don't have
that.
panic. I just had sleep anxiety.
Yeah.
Only. Totally
That was
only.
it.
But she has a package deal.
Wow.
So what she needed was actually the opposite of what I was asking her to do. Now we have sleep anxiety with Isla. What she needed was exactly what I was telling Georgia to do.
Interesting.
So when we went into the therapist, she was like, so I think that you need to listen to classical music. And my mouth literally dropped open because I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Like,
That's what I've been telling Georgia this whole time, which wasn't working.
Right.
But when she explained to me, Georgia's brain needs to be empty, right? And so classical music engaged her brain.
Got it.
So
That
she
makes
would have
sense.
to listen to white noise, and
Yep.
she would have to logic her way out of fear.
Wow.
There's a monster in the closet. What's the likelihood there's a monster in the closet?
Yeah.
Probably not very likely. If there is a monster in the closet, I have a 140-pound dog in my bed.
Right.
So I think I'm okay.
Yeah.
So to talk herself down, which is not what I did.
Right.
What I did was I'd count backwards from 100 till I fell asleep. Or
And it
I'd
worked.
listen to classical music. So what Isla needs is different. She needs to focus her mind, to focus it. So for her to have white noise, it's like her brain can go
it's too
anywhere.
much. It's static. Yeah.
She has to have a focus. So counting backwards from 100, perfect for her.
Yeah.
Focusing on classical music, perfect for her, where that woke Georgia's brain up. It puts Isla's to sleep.
Yeah, that's interesting because I'm
Isn't
more like
that?
you. Well, because I don't have I panic when I have anxiety with claustrophobia, but cognitive behavioral therapy, I learned about myself, which is funny because Avery was having, she's still at 15. We can't leave her alone at night.
Right.
Not going to happen.
Right.
She freaks out. Like
Right.
calls us, is like, what's going on? When you guys coming home?
Yeah.
She's been afraid that there's going to be a murderer in the house forever.
Yeah.
And she's never watched scary movies. She won't. She can't. Since she was 10, she would wake up constantly in the middle of the night. And I mean, we had to put alarms on her windows because she thought someone was going to get in our house. She had to have one of those things that you put in the hotel underneath the door, like it's a door stopper, so that if we tried to open her door, it would set off an alarm.
Right. Wow.
We let her do that because it was so intense that it freaked us out that she couldn't sleep. And so she finally got over that. She's finally sleeping through the night at 15. That's great. But she's still afraid there's murder in the house. Someone's going to murder us. And Doug went, well, then you'll be dead. I mean, but her phobia is she's also phobic of needles. And what I found is I tried to do to her what I would do to myself.
Right.
When I'm on a plane and I would start having a claustrophobic moment, I'm very self-deprecating. Like I literally would be like, you're so fucking stupid. In my head, you are so dumb. You are intelligent. What the hell is your problem? Oh, really? The plane. I would literally talk about myself so poorly because I'm a perfectionist and there's this, you've got to look like this and do this. And then that was what was like, how can you be so weak? And it would upset me. I would start crying and be like, you're such a puss. Like militant, like, get over yourself. Get the fuck up.
Muscle through it.
Muscle through it.
Yeah.
And the therapist said to me, well, one, how is that working for you? And I'm like, well, it's not because I'm here. You know what I mean? Right. And she said, you're doing the same to your daughter, which I would. When Avery would go, we'd had to go get her shots once and I'd be like, oh my God, you need to get over this shit. I mean, I would lose it. And she'd be like, that's not helping me. And I'm like, I don't care. You are going to get this done. I would get so mean. And I'm like, what is wrong with me? And I found that that's where I didn't have empathy.
Right.
Because I didn't want her to have my phobia.
Right. Any
Any kind of phobia. And I'm thinking, oh, that's going to help it by beating her verbally.
Right.
Like,
the way you do yourself.
Assassinating her because she doesn't have what I have. And that kind of grin and grit and bear it and you get through it.
Yeah.
She doesn't have that.
Right.
It's not her. She needs to hear.
She hasn't needed it.
Nope. And she needs a logical conversation about it. It still won't change it. She will resist things. And I'm like, you're going to have to get your blood drawn. Don't talk about it. Okay. Then I can't talk about it. I don't know how to handle that still because, you're going to have to get your blood drawn one day. You're going to have to get a shot. She literally can't talk about it. It'll make her sick to her stomach. She doesn't want to think about it. Gets angry. And I've had to learn to be kinder to myself when I'm in a moment of panic and stop getting embarrassed. I mean, I had a panic attack in Mandalay Bay. Alana we always share a room and we're going to be in Vegas sharing a room. And she was next to me in the other bed and I was laying there and I'm like, all she hears is me going, and I'm getting up and I'm trying to get the medicine that I take, Valium, right? Mm-hmm. Which doesn't work on me if I'm in a panic.
It's too late.
Yeah. And I have to take 2 or a third one.
And then you're out.
No.
No? Because your adrenaline's too high?
Like a flea on a horse.
Oh, God.
So now I'm fully getting dressed at 4 a.m. to not take the elevator, to go down the stairwell.
Right.
To get stuck down in the bottom of a boiler. You know, I mean, like, so my therapist walked me through all these crazy things. Like, okay, so what happens when you go in that elevator? Okay, go down deeper. What happens when it can't open? Now let's go to the worst case. What's another case? And I mean, she made me write down and put a level on. I'd be at 100 if this happened. And it was about, get me on an elevator. It's an elevator in a subway. Then something happens and now the elevator won't open. And when it does open, it's a concrete wall, right? The lights go out. The AC's off. No one can hear me. My phone's out. I'm at 100. I'm at 100.
Yeah.
Kill me. Right? And because it's not about death. It's not about fear of that. It is a fear of being trapped in a space.
Right.
And I can't go in a forest.
Can't go in a forest? Mm-mm. Why?
Doug had to get this one through his head. It was hard for him to understand. He's like, we're outside. And he said to me once, I'm a little worried that you're going to become that homeless person who can't go inside. Who sleeps outside because they can't.
Well, you have experience shitting in a bag.
I mean,
so it wouldn't be so bad.
I've got one thing down.
And you can shower in a trash can. So there
we go. But I don't like to camp. So, unless I have my inflatable. But I'm telling you, it was really weird. We were doing a hike, which we don't do. So we're in this hike. We're going to see some bullshit. And I was like, oh my God. And then I start, it's the mind fuck. I start going, I can't really see out. It's just a lot of brush. They're really tall trees. Where's the road? Oh my God. I'm turned around. It felt like I was in a corn maze.
Oh, got it. Because you were just lost. You had no bearings.
Well, and there's the trek. And I know we got in, But I keep thinking, that's a long way back. And how fast can I run? I mean, I had a panic attack in Paris.
You did?
We were 7 floors down on going to Montmartre Pass or something. We're in a subway metro, which is, I won't do ever again. That's done. That won't happen again. All it took was a friend going, yeah, I'm on the subway. I'm stuck. It's hot as shit. It's 5 o'clock. Everyone's,
Boy, you
I'm
couldn't
up
live in New
someone's
York
butt.
then.
No. Well, I'd be Ubering it and I'd be broke. Back to homeless.
You'd be back to homeless.
It's okay. As long as I have my cardboard box. But it's really weird. It's a weird feeling. And Doug is going through it with sleep apnea.
Oh, really?
Last night I said, how was your sleep? He's like, I'm having panic attack. He feels like he's being smothered to death.
Well, because he's got like an alien on his face.
Yeah. And he's never had a problem with being in a small space.
Yeah.
No problem. Can go underneath the house and his nose can literally hit the wood underneath him. Nope.
Yeah, I wouldn't like that sleep apnea machine either.
Me neither, but he needs to keep doing it. Okay.
Well, those sleep buds, you got to try those.
Try it.
They're Bose sleep buds. They're amazing.
I love it.
Amazing.
Speaking of got to try it.
I know.
I need
It's almost
you
4
to-
o'clock.
I know. What time?
It's almost 4 o'clock. We've been doing this for 3 hours.
Is he like just
I know
falling
he's
asleep?
I-
Holy shit.
His girlfriend's probably like, TikTok, dude.
Oh God, that's a long. Don't even air this. It'll
No,
be
it's gonna be
podcast.
great.
He'll be like this. They'll be like this. Wake me up when it's over. What?
No, it'll
These
be
girls,
great.
Shitty chatty Cathy's.
You know what? Some
you need
people-
to go to my spa, by the way. Here, the Raven Spa.
bring it
you
on.
need to go.
What
to
is
the
it
Raven's-
called?
It's
The
called
Raven?
the Raven Spa.
Where's
and
that?
It's Silver Lake and Santa Monica, and I bought it 2 years ago because I had a wild hair at my ass to add more stress to my life. But it is authentic Thai, and since you've been to Bali,
Yeah.
in Vietnam,
Yeah.
you're going to understand. I mean, these therapists are incredible. We have a retired monk
Oh,
who
awesome.
works there. I mean, they will kick your ass.
I love Thai massage.
Do
I used
you?
to get Thai. Yeah.
I
Is
can't
it
do
the
it
kind
that
where
well.
they lay on the ground and they walk
yeah.
on you?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I love that
Yeah,
massage.
we do that,
It's
and they
great.
do regular Swedish and deep tissue and stuff. Yeah, and they're beautiful. It looks like you've stepped into Morocco that had a baby with a Balinesian. Like,
Awesome.
It feels like you.
I'll go check it out with my girlfriends and we'll podcast about it.
It's great.
We'll
It's
do
really
that.
good.
I'll do that for sure. Where can someone buy your beauty products?
Oh, Provide. Yeah. You guys, privai.com. It is for our age women. I'm not trying to kiss millennials' ass. It's paraben free. It's naturally inspired, but it's going to have some stuff in it that takes your face off sometime, which is fabulous when you hit 40. No, but it's good because it comes from within the spa. And Alana and I developed it 14 years ago inside the spas. We've probably had over 1 million facials performed with our products.
Wow.
2-3 million massages with it because we wanted to make sure we had something that could last and work, and it's affordable. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so as we grow it grows organically, naturally. We don't really market it. And it's in all of our spas. It's in the Raven Spa too, because we just really believe in it. It's great stuff. And
It's awesome.
It's a green beauty movement, but we were doing that way before it was like cool,
Right.
greenwashing and stuff. And I think that everyone's trying to cater to the younger crowd, and I get it. They have a buying power,
Yeah.
Baby boomers were the buying power, but the millennials will eclipse them. But it's their moms that are affording them that. So
Yeah.
I'm going after our age where we've been left out. I mean, in any kind of social media marketing, digital marketing, beauty products, body products, healthy, wellness driven, identifying products of any kind we're just kind of sometimes being ignored. And I'm like, but we're the ones that are making the buying power in the house. We're making the buying
Right.
decisions.
Right.
In hotels, in restaurants, in spas, everything. That's what we
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
historically.
I think you're right.
yeah.
I had a bunch of your stuff a long time ago. I used it
know.
all.
Oh, I need to send you some more.
No, I'll just go online and buy it. But
No,
I'll
I'll have to sponsor you.
Well, you can sponsor me. That would be fine. I'll give you a free sponsorship. How about that?
Oh my God. I love it.
But I'll have to go buy some because I've been using Beauty Counter.
Oh yeah.
You know
Yep.
Beauty Counter?
I do.
I had a friend here who was on the podcast who had breast cancer, and she had no history of it, no reason why she had it, and she just started thinking, I've been wearing the same lipstick and eating it basically
Sure.
for how many years, and I've been putting this
On your
antiperspirant
face.
on my
Oh,
body,
yeah.
and
Yep.
your skin is your largest organ, and it's
Yep.
directly connected to your internal organs.
Totally.
And she was like, you know what? I'm just gonna whether the scientific provings are true or not, I'm just gonna stop using that shit.
Good.
And so she sells
Beauty Counter.
Beauty Counter, and So she threw a party and I bought some stuff from her. I like the product.
It's a good product. I do like it. I read a lot about it when it came out because I really liked it. I like the philosophy. I like the woman owner who did it. And I forget her name at the moment, but there's a lot of amazing lines out there. The problem I found in our industry is that everyone that had a story started hawking product, right? Meaning, you know, every story came from a woman that started it in her kitchen. Her mom had cancer, or someone had breast cancer, or someone had something. And the issue is that sometimes you need a safer alternative than a paraben, but a safer chemical, if you will, that's going to also keep it safe. And that's where the greenwashing.
You mean to keep the product safe.
Yes.
Right. To keep it from bacteria and
mold is more dangerous.
It's terrible.
Than phenoxyethanol, which is a way to preserve a product. And, you know, sometimes I think back to, gosh, you know, we didn't even have seatbelts.
Right.
You know, you wonder how we made it. But we're also in a different chemical world, too. We're pumping a lot more crap. I mean, honestly, PCOS women, to bring it back home, PCOS women statistically have a larger percentage of autistic children.
Really?
Than any other group. Yes.
Interesting.
Yep. And they believe it goes back to the endocrine disruptor, which is where our egg is coming from as well, genetically. And how did we get a hormone imbalance? And then our hormones are what is also helping create that child, right?
Yeah.
So they've been able to link it to a degree. And so I wasn't shocked when I read and then saw the statistics and went, wow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. And I believe it goes back to a lot of, I mean, we never had plastic bottles and all that. And listen, do I still have plastic bottles? Yes, I do. My daughter give me shit about it? Yes, she does. While she's drinking from a plastic bottle. You know what I mean? It's like the person driving driving the Mercedes and is going and picketing something about Monsanto or, you know, some type of whatever. And you go, you know that car is a gas guzzler too, right? You know what I mean? It's like, don't wear the penny loafers with the penny in it and then bitch about wearing, you know, being vegan. Those shoes are leather. You know?
Right.
That's the thing. If you're going to do it hardcore.
Yeah,
Be it all day or don't.
Be impeccable with your word.
Be impeccable with your word.
Yes, that's
for agreements all day.
All day long.
Well, I love you.
Aw,
like
I love
a
you
sister
too.
and a best buddy. And
I
I appreciate, I'm so proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
I think this is awesome. I think you are helping a lot of women, especially in our demographic age group that I'm telling you, there's not a lot of voice out there for us.
Right.
All you got to do is go online and you will not see a lot of 40 plus getting a voice.
I agree with you. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate it. I'm really proud of this podcast.
You have great friends too. I love listening to them.
great friends.
You have great friends. I'm so
you.
sad that I don't live here anymore when it comes to that.
Tell me about
Because I don't
it.
have friends where I live, and that's my fault because my friend was, you know, my best friend's my
Your partner.
business partner, and that's, you know, she moved, and so we live in different states now, and it was like I lost my whoopee in that way.
Wait, she moved?
She was in Atlanta.
She does?
Yeah.
A
couple years ago, and I just was like, we used to work across from each other in an office, like literally our desks shared the same desk. Yeah.
Why did they move?
Vinny had an opportunity. He sells high-end organic mattresses, and he could open his own business, and it does really well out there.
That's great.
And so
it was good.
It was good for her family, and she has tons of friends out there. I'm like, oh, it must be great.
You left me in the dirt.
And you have younger kids, and I ditched mine while we were working. Now my kid's like, hey, hang out with me. Or don't. Schizophrenic. But yeah, I'm just grateful when I come out here, I get to see you. Because I come out like every 3 months.
I know, I'm grateful too. And I miss you a lot.
Terribly.
And Bert misses you a lot.
Love
and
Bert.
we miss Doug.
I know.
And we're sad our kids didn't get to grow up together.
I know. We have those pictures though of them when they were
We do have
one.
those pictures. But I am so proud of you.
Thank
and I know
you.
when you were on I-5, I used to, I don't remember if I left you a voicemail, but I would every once in a while call you or something and say, I am so proud of you.
You would. You were the only one.
So
That's great.
proud of your path and your choices.
Thanks.
And what you've overcome.
Thanks.
To become this beautiful, strong, powerful inspiration, I think.
Thanks.
For me and for people to hear you talk about what you've gone through and what you've learned is really amazing. Thank you so much for talking to me about all of it.
I love you.
I love you
open
too.
door.
I love you
I can't let the
too.
family listen though. So sorry. Not happening. No.
Why
no,
not?
No. Are you shitting me? Doug will be like, because he is private as private can be. He'd be like, what? You told him I did what? I took
He
what?
didn't do anything.
He did nothing.
No, I mean, you didn't talk about him at all. That's what I mean.
Just a little. They won't even watch it. It's okay.
No,
It's
just
all
about his sunburned turkey leg feet
right. Turkey basters.
and his inflatable recliner on my camping trip.
We look so stupid.
I have
like
to find those pictures. I have them. They're big blue
I would
inflatable
love to
chairs.
see them.
I would too. They're really funny.
Just problems. I'm still like that. But now it's just like, I need the king bed. I want to make sure the food is good. Now I'm just a little bit more posh about it.
You're just a little more
refined.
honest, maybe.
Yeah, maybe
More,
I just,
not
I'll
that you
get
were
what I
dishonest.
want. That's
you
what
were
it is.
willing to do it for me.
Absolutely. I still
Right.
would.
I know you would.
But
I
I'd
love
make
you.
him take Dramamine next time. So he doesn't like puke.
prepared.
Him and Lorenzo, yeah. Oh my God. Well, I love you. Thank you.
Love you
And this
too.
is-
Thank you too.
It's awesome.
Okay.
All
Well,
right,
we'll go to your spa and we'll podcast about
Sure,
it. That'd
no
be
problem.
really fun.
It's on me.
Because
You
Sandy's
got it.
all. You don't have to do it. No, I'll pay for
Shit,
it.
come on.
But Sandy's
who's
very.
that? Oh,
She
Sandy.
always sits there.
Does she?
That's her spot. Sandy's big into massage of
Is she?
any kind. Oh my, massage spa. She's the one doing the laser genesis and Kathy.
Oh,
So
fantastic.
we'll just go check it out
Yeah.
and talk about it. And
Get ready to be sore. If you want Thai, I mean, they'll kick your ass.
Oh, I
if
love
anyone
Thai
has
massage.
any issue with like their body, then they should do like a Swedish. And they still are heavy-handed on Swedish. We're like that place where we have a lot of celebrities that go there, and it's like hush hush.
Yeah.
And they come in, and I'm just like, oh my God, if something happens to them, please, because I don't want to get sued. It's
Right.
California.
Right.
Just takes one thing, and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, I can't do that film anymore. You know, but they're really talented with it. It's been around for 15 years.
Wow.
And so
It's really established.
It is. It's to be around still. I just hope it stays that way because I bought it. It's like a pirate ship. It needs some help. It's got some holes in it that we got to fix, but
Right.
it's kind of cool and it's unique and quirky. But the Raven Spa, I like it. I love my other spas though. Those are more like 4 or 5 diamond hotel spas and
Amazing.
And that, yeah. So those are all over the country.
So how could someone find a spa that you manage?
Gosh, we're like incognito. We're starting to launch our Provide Wellness Spa concept. We have 2 spas in Miami. One's in Miami, one's in Orlando that are Provide Wellness spas because that's our next step.
Got it.
Like Jurlique did that. Jurlique,
Yes.
they had a skincare line, then they started opening spas, but then they stopped their spas and went where the money was, which was with skincare.
Right.
The operations is more difficult, but they can go on ismspa.com and it says our properties and they can click on them. We've got one at near Sonoma. It's the Grayton Hotel and Casino out in Roanoke Park.
Okay.
That's the closest one. We don't have a lot in California, but mainly because there's just so many different type of laws for employees out here versus North Carolina. But we have a lot in the north, if you will, and Florida. Florida has our most in Orlando.
Okay.
Got a few out there. Savannah. We're opening one in Savannah. Another
Oh,
one in
awesome.
Savannah. So
I
yeah,
love Savannah.
It's beautiful there.
Yeah.
Hot as Hades, though. Boy, you'd be ready to sweat on every crevice.
You don't need a sauna.
You don't need a sauna.
Just open
You don't
the door.
need. You don't even need a pool because you're gonna be wet.
Open a door and
Yeah.
there's your sauna. It
You shower.
sucks.
You walk out. You're
and
wet.
you showered again. Yeah.
Glasses fog up. It's real cute. It's real sexy. Don't even get your hair done. Just put it in a ponytail.
That's so
No
true.
point. Yeah.
Ponytail. That's it.
That's Georgia too. Georgia heat.
Hey, tell me about it.
Yeah, I got
All
you.
right. Well, I
All
love you. Enjoy Vegas.
I will.
All right.
I may gamble. Just gamble a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Eat a little bit.
A little bit on black. Put it on black.
Maybe I got to bet on red. Just
Oh,
saying.
that's right, Red Anna. Okay.
All right, baby.